people? It is Thursday, the 3rd of April. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, we are hosted by the best.
They call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst. Melanin jam-packed.
And I'm your boy, 6 foot plus of pure temptation. Big marks from the east side of the bridge. Is that wrong, Brent?
On this monitor, you look very light, and I don't know why that is.
That screen looks paler than this screen, though.
Right? All right, never mind.
But what's it actually look like? That's the question.
That one.
Oh, then we're good money, man.
Yeah, I think we are.
What time did you get out of it yesterday, man?
Maybe like 12:30.
I feel like it was later.
Yeah, I think it might have been still. 12:45, maybe. I think it was before 1.
You were going for it.
It was a good conversation, man. It was so funny that when you came in, didn't say a word. 15 minutes later, gone. I just knew you ain't coming back.
Is that motherfucker do mask? Out my head. No, Yuzo was going in from. I was thinking this is above me, man.
Nah, of course not, man.
No, because Yuzo citing references. Yuzo were prepared for that. Yuzo came to throw it down to get me. So I was like, I'm just gonna be hindering whoever side I take. There was lots going on. I didn't have the bandwidth for it.
But shout out to Black Rob, shout out to Joshua and Andrew, and Emmanuel, obviously, for pulling up yesterday and giving the people like a fantastic example of a debate, right? It was in a debate format, right? Everybody was respectful to some extent.
To a certain extent. I mean, there was a couple of
things in there. But
yeah.
Serious? Like, because I remember I left at 10:30. Like, what aired on the side of, wait a minute. You want to step outside?
No. What do you mean? What? To me? To the mugs?
I'm talking to you. What went over the line?
Oh, yeah, it was nothing like that. It was just more so, I guess pushing it in terms of, this could be seen as disrespect, depending on if you're on that particular side. So obviously some of the nation stuff, you know what I mean? Like about Yaqub and all that stuff. But obviously I said some of these ideas have nothing to do with the nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are additional things that came from other groups. But yeah, you know?
All right. So it was just the stuff that pertained to you that may have been disrespectful.
No, some use us debate style. There was times when people weren't letting people finish their thoughts or their statements and that. You get me? And then just shooting them down, telling man they're talking nonsense. But I think there was just like little sparring, and after it felt out, and then it kind of just flowed into everyone having their space and just respecting everybody's opinions and getting their shit off. But not like crazy disrespect or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're right, man. This is just good debate, innit?
Any takeaways from yesterday, Manuel? Anything that you learned that stuck in your head? Or you were told, sorry, not learned?
Yeah, it could be learned. Of course it could be learned.
Learned implies like a fact, isn't it? Or a truth.
Okay.
You don't want to put that.
To be fair, I don't think there was anything new, if that's what you're basically asking me.
Okay.
But in terms of what I took away from it, I like the fact that everyone who came knew to a high extent what they were talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? It's refreshing hearing from people. You know what? Let me be more direct. Black Rob and Fire Spirit, Joshua. A lot of the time when you're speaking to Christians about certain things, right, they don't necessarily know the foundational beliefs, right? And can't really point to scripture. And I really like that they did. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously there's certain scriptures, like you're not necessarily prepared to defend your entire belief system, because that's not what yesterday was about. But in terms of what they were talking about and how they were able to, especially Joshua, right? just say, no, this is the foundation of Christianity, this is what we believe, the Shema says this, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It was refreshing to hear somebody who could defend their position, you know what I'm saying? And it just allows for the conversation to keep going. And Black Rob as well, coming with certain sources to show and prove that contemporaneously, people knew about Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, that was a good point that Andrew made as well, and which is what I was trying to say afterwards, that you may have known of a person called Jesus or Yeshua, but all the things ascribed to him, if no one believed those things or ascribed those things to him, is that really him? Do you get what I'm saying? So again, that was another point as well. But obviously it goes without saying, Andrew as well, he's just a historian, you know what I'm saying? He personifies history. So it was beautiful to have everyone in the room who can kind of duel in that respect.
Yeah, you could tell he's definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh no, I just had there was a level of respect there for the amount of information that you have. You get what I'm trying to say, like about the subjects, about the issues. Yes, it's not something that you just talking about for the sake of talking about. Like as far as regardless of what your opinion or people think you're right or wrong, you kind of know what you're talking about. You've researched and you've read. You know what I'm trying to say? That just at a baseline level, there was a certain level of knowledge there about the topic that you were talking about. I was like, that's actually serious. These men are serious. Shouts out to the two young brothers that I don't know if they're young, but
What two young brothers? Are you talking about? They were 4 handsome men in the room, all young.
Black Rob and no, but obviously.
Oh, you were already familiar with Andrew?
Huh?
You were already familiar with Andrew?
I haven't seen him, but I'm aware of who he is, so I figured this is his wheelhouse. This is what he does. You know what I'm trying to say? Big him up. I've been with E-Man long enough to know that he stays in the book and he knows what he's talking about for the most part. You know what I'm trying to say? But Black Rob and is it Justin?
Joshua.
Yep. Black Rob and Joshua.
Yep.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, these men are for real. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, these men are legit. Big them up, man. Big them up.
100%. Question, Emmanuel. So obviously the Yakub stuff was obviously I first heard about that just yesterday and stuff, innit? And I've been doing some Google since then.
Is that when you said you believe that they was built in a lab, the white man and that? Is that?
Yeah, but yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Go, go, Brent. What's your question?
Crazy stuff. Also,
funny enough, it's not that crazy. After I'm not going to mention what we spoke about on air, but afterwards we spoke about that in a particular way, and it made perfect sense scientifically. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mentioned.
I thought you said it was like a parable, though.
Yeah, or this is basically what we said on air, but afterwards, somebody provided some context in a scientific manner. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, because that's kind of new information, whatever, I don't want to speak and put words in the person's mouth in it. So, but I can tell you guys afterwards, just to give more context.
Cool. So the question I have is about the NOI. Do they believe in an afterlife?
No.
Okay. Do they believe that somebody or some people are gonna come and collect a bunch of you all and go somewhere?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
All right, so there aren't any aliens that are gonna come and just grab all of you all and go to a different planet?
No.
Okay, so you all just live on the earth and just die?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you all don't hold any beliefs about aliens looking to come and save you all?
No.
All right, okay.
And this is what I think feeds into what you were, the other Yakub story.
So that's the offshoot of Yakub.
That's not even, of the Yakub story, because you had the Nuwapians. So Nuwapians, again, like I mentioned yesterday, they were a group that was started by Malachi Z. York, right?
Yeah.
Dr. York. And he, intelligent man, loads of information, but you have to question the information. And I mean that in a respectful way. Because there are certain things that I definitely don't subscribe to that he says, like a lot of things. And he had so many different schools of thought. He was once called Imam Isa, so he was doing proper Orthodox Islam. He had a more Hebrew Jewish period as well. He had the more Kemet period, which is the Nwapian side. He's had so many different things. It's like it seems as though every 5 to 10 years, like he just kept switching up on people. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of, I guess, would give teachings or say certain things that was linked to so many different schools of thought, but he would go off on it and build upon it in his particular way. So a lot of the stuff that you're reading or hearing and seeing, the pictures and all this stuff, nothing to do with the nation. Nothing to do with the nation. And that's basically what I was trying to say to Joshua as well. So all these things it's just
okay. Yeah. And you just make the best of your life on this earth, and there's nothing after.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, that's the belief, I guess. Yeah.
And this,
which isn't strange.
Do you subscribe to this?
I mean, I like I said, I don't think about it in that regard. I still believe, there's something afterwards. You know what I mean? But again, that's not my main focus, because I just feel as though the main focus for me is the liberation of black people, innit? And that's the main thing. Because otherwise we start dividing and seeing the world differently in particular respects, and then we just don't get together. So it's not something that I really think about. And I also do think that when a lot of the time we think about the afterlife, it somewhat pacifies us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can afford to then say, you know what, when they did this, when they killed us, when they did whatever, you know what, God will take control. You know what I'm saying? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? All those sorts of things. And I feel like it kind of makes people more passive. Do you know what I'm saying? Because God will take control, and don't worry, you'll see them again in the afterlife. But when you see it and you recognize and put it into context, what are you saying, bro? When you put it into context now, and you're like saying stuff along the lines of, you know what, when this particular thing happened, this man, for example, that was killed or whatever it may be, and you put it in the context of this woman will never see her husband again, or these children will never see their fathers again, and it's an absolute full stop. I feel like it makes us respond differently to rather than, you know what, God will take control. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I'll see them in heaven. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's pretty much my approach, I guess, to answer that question.
That's interesting. That's so cool, man. 'Cause I didn't know that you had shifted your belief so much. Like, during the discourse, I realized just how much I didn't know about what you believed, because I was still operating under the premise that you would still tell people that you were Christian, but that can't happen.
Okay, it's cold.
Yeah, it is. It's always nice.
No,
little space.
No, do you know why? Because I feel like obviously I'm just repeating myself over and over.
No, I don't want you to do that. Don't do that.
But it's just more so, again, that I just feel like it's personal. Do you know what I'm saying? And if there brings about division, I'm just really not interested in. You know what I'm saying? On a one-to-one basis, if we get in the conversation, I'll tell people exactly what I believe. But well, it depends on the conversation and the nature of the conversation, the agenda of the conversation. But I just don't want to feed into anything that I've seen for decades now being one of the things that really divide us. I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah, the thing is, I believe that people don't even really need to kind of read in between the lines with you to say that you can't say that you're Christian. Right? So I hear you saying that you one-to-one, you're going to tell people what you believe. But everything that you said, they can deduce that you can't call yourself a Christian.
Okay, well,
but when the show started, he called himself a Christian.
That's fine.
He didn't.
He kind of
as in
did.
TDA.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yes, he did. And you remember several times, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then he started introducing different things. And here we are. And you believe that he can't now still call himself a Christian based on what it is that he shared, right?
I think you can. Obviously, that's a question religion and look at different things, and obviously, when he's looking at different religions and stuff like the nation stuff and whatnot, you know what his blackness means to him and what black people means to him, and that's what he's putting first. So I can see why he'll be drawn to those things. I think he could, but again, he's not been speaking his mind a lot recently, so you don't know what he actually holds dear to him. So if he came and said, yeah, he was Christian, I could accept it. Because would you say that, because he's not Muslim,
The thing is, he has been speaking his mind, but he keeps saying that he's not going to share his personal beliefs, but he has been. Do you understand?
Yeah, but if he hasn't took his shahada, he's not Muslim.
Do you have to take a shahada for nation?
I think so. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure in that regard.
Unless he done it in secret.
But there's a lot of stuff happening this week.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't need to know what it means.
I can't see him denouncing the one true God.
You said denounce it.
The thing is, from his theories, like they're all the same. They just merge and mutate and evolve. And
He's a man of the books. The holy books. He's more.
just saying words, man.
There's some people that.
The question you asked him was, no, the thing that you said, the statement you said was that he can't call himself a Muslim unless he takes his shahada.
Yeah.
And I asked him, with the nation, like, it's imperative to take the shahada before you become a nation member. And he's like, I'm not sure. And that's the first time I heard him say he's unsure about something about the nation.
No, because I don't know every single thing in it. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things, and but I've been influenced learning from the nation for probably like 20 years, man. You know what I'm saying? So some things that are basically, I don't say different, but are more in your face. Some things are less in your face in terms of the teachings. You know what I'm saying? From the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to today, the present day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know the intricacies of everything at all.
Being a unlearned man about the nation, being an expert on the nation for 20 years, and that particular question evades you.
I don't want to say I'm not an expert. I just said I've been influenced. In terms of
20 years is a long time.
In terms of me being introduced to Malcolm, I'm basically talking about that. From the time of me being introduced to Malcolm and to today, that's basically what I mean. So of course I didn't know anything in depth about the nation. Back then, it was just more so my introduction. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Did you hear anything yesterday to shake your belief, Brent?
Me? Nah. Impossible. Well, to be honest, I didn't listen to all the stream, so maybe I missed a good bit. But impossible.
Yeah.
Go on.
No.
Go run it.
It's not a situation of running.
Run
it's just me saying.
You're not gonna.
To me, that was never
here.
that was never my intention. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was anybody's intention. In the room.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
So.
Well, me or Andrew anyway.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Don't think what?
I disagree with that, to be honest.
You think that was our intention?
There's 100% one aspect of why you take so much time going back and forth trying to dispute what another person believes isn't to basically move them from their position.
No, not at all. Believe me. There's
I
so many
believe
things. There's so many things I didn't say.
Believe me. He held back.
1,000,000%. Believe me. You know what I'm saying?
I heard you mention the virgin.
Yeah, that was light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
what do you think you could say that is a heavyweight blow?
No, but I wouldn't say that. With regards to the virgin birth,
do you want to hear it?
With regards to the virgin birth,
I want to hear it.
What?
No.
But you said it don't matter if it happened or not.
Exactly. Basically, what I was trying to say is there's certain things that are core to Orthodox Christianity, Orthodox Islam, Orthodox Judaism, things of that nature, right? But I was basically saying, I believe personally that some ideas have been influenced by the culture that was maybe leading at the time, right? The culture that had some sort of a monopoly on that particular belief system. And I think this is just normal. There's just certain things in life that are just normal. Humans influence certain things, right? And I was basically saying, with the virgin birth, to me personally, if I'm believing that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, right? I don't think it's necessary to have a virgin birth. I don't think it's necessary because I could still believe he is with the fact that his parents were both male and female. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's to me, because to me, I think I can see divinity in humanity. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just seeing certain things orchestrated and moving in a particular direction. I personally can see the hand of God in particular things and say, this is divine. And because of how he lived, because of who he was and things of that nature, like, he was adopted, you know what I'm saying, as the Son of God. And that would be fine for me. that wouldn't make me feel like, oh man, this is like, Christianity, I need to question it all. I wouldn't, that's just me though. And so when I'm asking these questions, and this is what I was throwing at Joshua yesterday, I was saying, to me, there's a Greek influence in the text. Because when you're looking at the Hebrew text, for the prophecy that is basically about Jesus Christ coming and all that sort of stuff, it never mentions that his mother will be a virgin. It just says it will be a young girl. But that word could be used to intimate young girl or virgin. It could be either or. So it doesn't have to be. But then when you get the Septuagint, which is the Greek writing of the Hebrew manuscript, the translator has used the word virgin. So when you get the English, right, which comes from the Septuagint, because at the time that's what Erasmus used, he's using virgin. It keeps getting pushed. Virgin. And when you then realize also in the book of Matthew as well, I believe, I mentioned it yesterday, chapter 1, verse 17, in a lot of the earlier texts, there's no mention of the Holy Spirit basically being the father of Jesus Christ. It just says Joseph begat Jesus, because it was just like, okay, it's fine. Do you get what I'm saying? There was no need for him to be that way. But a writer who's influenced and wants to push the idea, not in a bad way, but just really hone in the idea that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, may say, you know what? It was like this. Do you get what I'm saying? To push that idea, because in that world, they're used to the ideas of Zeus. They're used to gods coming down and fathering kids, demigods and things of that nature. They are okay with those particular things. So in their head, their agenda is righteous. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's basically what I'm trying to say. For me, you can still be messianic. You can still believe that Christ is the Messiah. You still believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, with him having Joseph as a dad. That's to me. Do you get what I'm saying? But some people don't see it that way.
Do you see it that way? Do you feel that way?
What was the question you're asking me? Go on.
Do you believe that about the divine birth and stuff like that? And if it wasn't true, would it do anything to shake your belief?
So, one, yes, I believe it. Two, if it wasn't true, would it shake my belief? No. Why? I think because I can logically reach to that same possibility without having read it in the Bible. What I mean by that is, he just mentioned that the people back then were used to gods coming down and looking to mate with human beings, right? Those particular quote-unquote gods, they're spirits, right? So the Holy Spirit could be in the same form as these other gods that did it. I also believe that the angels came and mixed with humankind and made creation, like entities. Do you understand? So I can still wrap my head around an angelic being, an entity that isn't like humankind coming down and meeting with. Doesn't have to be physical. It could just be a touch. It could just be a presence and pop. So no, it would. Hello. Thank you, Max. So no, it wouldn't shake me at all. But I can still find my way there.
But is it a case of it needing to shake you though?
Well, he did ask the question. That's the question he asked me.
I did ask if it would shake his belief.
Okay, cool. But I guess for me, even if it wasn't there, would that be fine with you?
I think it would, only because I think I'm also in a camp where I don't know if 120% of every account that is in the Bible actually happened in the way in which it did, right? Mm-hmm. So if now Jesus came and did everything that he did back then, I think that in the next 20,000 years, 50,000 years, it would be easier to recall, because we have so many methods to basically, whether film, audio, or note it, and then record it. Do you understand? It'll be easier. But back then, brother, everything was just starting up. It was, what is writing? Do you understand? So I think my faith is kind of grounded in like a present God as opposed to just the past. Do you understand? Because I can verify his influence in my life today as opposed to relying just on who he was in a myopic period of time in which it is that he's supposed to have existed in. Do you understand?
Yeah, but what does that not just speak to you, correct me if I'm wrong, just believing in God?
Yes.
But not necessarily in all the things, the characteristics, the traits, the stories.
I have to have a level of faith to do that, and it's there.
That's
what I'm doing, 100%. But I still would have needed his presence in today. I needed to feel him today in order to be like, yeah, I'm priced in. Do you understand? I can't just rely on yesterday's sweet nothings. I can't.
But do you notice that everything...
With my logical mind.
Okay, but do you notice that everything you're saying, I guess the average Christian wouldn't have that view?
100%.
And this is basically what I was asking the guys. I'm basically saying, for me, I see it differently to you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's essentially what you're saying also, Brent. That I guess your belief system is your personal relationship with your creator.
100%.
But it's informed obviously by the Bible.
I will say it at the top of the mountain. I'll say it at the bottom of the mountain, halfway down the mountain. Yeah. I'm going to proclaim where I stand with this, because I do the same with everything else I believe in. Do you understand? I don't want anybody to not know what makes me smile or be kind or operate in the manner in which it is I'm operating in. Do you understand?
Yeah. But yeah. I see Black Rob said something about the Isaiah scrolls in Hebrew, not Greek, and the virgin prophecy was there. The prophecy was there, but it doesn't explicitly say she will be a virgin. It doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it does. It says something. Use the word Alma, which translates to young girl.
All right, so he's not here. We're not going to go back and forth on this.
Yeah, no, I'm just mentioning it in the chat.
Yeah, you all litigated it yesterday.
That Mary could have been outside from young is...
That's
but
not
that
what
used to
I'm
happen
saying.
back in the day all the time. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying that too. I'm just saying...
You are saying it. You're saying it could have been. She just said young girl. Doesn't mean virgin.
Yeah.
But we were sure that she was a young girl.
Yeah.
But she might not have been a virgin.
No, as in she had relations with her husband. Yeah. I don't mean she was outside doing a madness. I just mean she got married young, you know what I'm saying, age of whatever it was, and her first child was Jesus Christ. Okay. But the father was Joseph. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's okay to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. And I feel like there is, or there can be, an agenda for people to want to input that in the text because they really want to hone in on the message that Jesus was the Son of God. But to me, he can be the Son of God without him having... Because just simple questions like me asking, like if like Brent said, if Jesus was here today, if you took a blood test of Jesus, how many chromosomes did he have? You know, did he have only half? Was the other half Holy Spirit chromosomes? Like, what's everyone's belief system? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be somehow, but I'm trying to use logic here and also say, is this a problem for people? Because what are we saying? What blood group would he be? Do you know what I'm saying? 23 chromosomes? What? And everybody else is different. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear it.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway.
You're touching aliens.
Do you think it's funny that
not really.
Like people are so far removed from God nowadays? Or maybe the gods have forsaken us?
The what? What? Is that?
No, I'm just saying.
Again.
And I like doing that.
You only speak Warlord.
Back in the day, yeah, there's just bare stories of. Obviously, that's where we get all our information from about religions and stuff like that. And there's a lot of interactions with God or the gods or whatever, human interaction, even Mary and whatnot. Like you're saying in the Greek mythology, there was a lot of interactions between gods and humans, but they stop at a certain point in it. And obviously, we're living through life now, and God's only here because of we keep his name alive. If that makes sense. So I'm not trying to blaspheme.
No, that's fine. You don't dabble regularly.
But what I'm trying to say is, do you see? So
if you dabbled regularly, you won't be saying this.
So, okay, cool. So have you got any news stories for me? Modern day ones?
You've never bucked anybody who does juju?
We talk about the dark arts.
Yeah. Have you talked to anybody who's done hallucinogenic herbs and stuff?
Not first hand, no.
All right, cool.
Oh, so they know God. Obviously,
that's the veil, man.
You done the ayahuasca, innit?
I have not.
You no?
No.
Okay, so
what next?
what is your experience? That's
man. I definitely would share it if it is I did ayahuasca though.
You would do it as well, innit?
100%.
What do you expect to see?
I guess I expect to see certain things that I have heard that other people see. And then more. But whatever I see, I'm not sure if it will be easy for me to articulate it. Because even in regular life, it's hard for me to articulate certain things anyway. I talk different. So maybe even how I articulate it might be easier to comprehend than how I'm trying to convey to normal people normal things. That might be my moment.
Would you do it, E-Man?
I mean, as you said, it's
I wouldn't say no.
afterlife.
I wouldn't rule
why
it
not?
out. I wouldn't rule it out. What's the afterlife got to do with it, man?
Basically, why did I say that? So I believe that there are spiritual entities that you can access when it is that you take those particular drugs in it, or aids. And I see it as there are two ways to engage that, whether it's done properly via God or the Holy Spirit. He's given you access to that. Here, I'm showing you. So I'll be your guide whilst this is happening. Or you go back door. Do you understand? When it's go back door, you don't have no protection. So anything can happen. You can come back from that particular state of consciousness, right? And bring something back with you. That will terrify you in this particular plane. This is what Jordan said when he was here. When he took it, something came back with him and it troubled him and he had to basically go get it cleansed from him. That's because he didn't have permission to basically enter there.
Okay.
Do you understand? So even when it is that you have certain people saying that they go with shamans and whatnot, I do believe that they have traversed that particular plane quite often enough to know how to maneuver in that particular space. And I don't know if Emmanuel takes it, it's going to be like with somebody who knows how to basically navigate that space properly.
I think you just should go on a retreat and just do it.
Good morning.
Yo, good morning. How you guys feeling?
Oh, good, man. How you?
Blessed and highly favored.
Man, alhamdulillah, I feel good, man.
Come
All
on.
right, then.
Come on.
All right, then.
I stated it right away. I love
Yes.
it. Love it. All right, cool. Let's get into the headlines so
Let's
we
do
can we can push on.
All right, people. So our first set of headlines. The UK's biggest police force will cut 1,700 officers and staff despite receiving funding increases from central and local government. The Met Police said it also needs to axe services, including the Royal Parks Police, a decision described by one council leader as a huge mistake. Scotland Yard admitted the move to plug £260 million budget shortfall would put an extraordinary stretch on its staff. A spokesperson for the force also said, while this new funding increases our original funding gap from 450 million, it leaves us with a 260 million pound shortfall, and we'll have to make substantial, tough choices, reducing our size by over 1,700 officers, staff, and PCSOs, and therefore our services. Next headline, and Elon Musk will leave his government role soon. This is what Donald Trump's inner circle has been told, or at least told by his inner circle. The president is said to have told his closest allies, including members of his cabinet, that the Tesla billionaire will soon step back from his job as a special government employee at the helm of DOGE, the department that was created to scrap wasteful government spending. Both men have agreed that it's time for Mr. Musk to develop an exit strategy and return to his businesses. It's not clear if Mr. Musk's failure to sway voters in the Wisconsin Supreme Court, in which he donated $21 million to the Republican candidate, will also expedite his departure. His time serving as one of Mr. Trump's top advisors has frustrated some cabinet ministers who have privately accused him of overreach. And our last headline, trigger warning on this one, big trigger warning. A forensic doctor who examined the bodies of some of the 15 paramedics and Palestinian rescue workers shot dead by Israeli forces and buried in a mass grave in southern Gaza has said that there's evidence of execution-style killing. This is based on the specific and intentional location of shots at close range. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society, the Palestinian Civil Defense and UN employees were on a humanitarian mission to collect dead and wounded civilians outside the southern city of Rafah on the morning of the 23rd of March, when they were killed and then buried in the sand by a bulldozer alongside their flattened vehicles. This according to the UN. Israel has expanded its aerial and ground attacks in Gaza since ending the ceasefire last month, and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Wednesday that it intends to divide up the territory. The killing of the paramedics and rescue workers has triggered outrage around the world and demands for accountability. On Wednesday, the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy said that Gaza was the deadliest place on earth for humanitarian workers. He also said recent aid workers' deaths are a stark reminder. Those responsible must be held accountable.
God damn.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's it for our headlines, people.
All right, then let's get into what you're saying, topic of the day.
All right, so topic of the day. It's based on a clip by TK Kirkland, yeah. So Ben, if you don't mind, can you load up that clip, yeah? And basically just talking about experiences and wisdom and stuff. But he makes a comment to say, you only become a real man at 42.
It's very specific.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to get you guys' opinion on this, pretty much, innit? So yeah, Brent.
Who is this Kirkland fella?
Comedian.
Oh.
Been in the game for decades.
The one who was on that show with that stupid woman on that podcast, you see when I was going around? The one with all the kids?
I don't know, you know.
Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this.
God willing, you get 40. You don't become a man until you're 42. This is my opinion.
Okay.
I tell people why. Because you need experiences. You need wisdom. And everything up to 40 is just rehearsal. Just rehearsal. After that, the real shit starts. You're going to make so many mistakes. You're going to learn so much about life in the game.
That's deep.
And you apply it to the rest of your life. And you look forward to peace of mind. You look forward to, by that time you're going to deal with death sometimes. Your mother, your father, someone that you love. And then you start really appreciating life. You cut the radio up just to hear the tires on the road. That's music to you. You someday look out your window, you see the trees blowing. You appreciate that birds. See dogs walk.
Small things.
It's the small things you appreciate so much. And as you get older, and you understand it, you only want to rock with certain people because their energy is different, right? As you get older, you become universally connected. You become more inclined to power. You become more inclined to knowledge, but don't let knowledge make you bitter. See, getting knowledge to the black man only makes us bitter because we really don't run shit. See, it's all myth when you think you really run it. And them motherfucking white people got this shit. The goal is to get your bread, take care of your loved ones as much as you can, get a little piece of the pie, if you can get it, and get the f*** away. Because until we start changing laws, we ain't got no power, dog. Wait till God willing you get 40. You don't become a...
What's your thoughts, man?
Man, I think he bugging, man. I'm gonna be honest, because I feel like there ain't no real age when it comes to like becoming a man. I don't feel like there should be. I understand what he means as far as like experience and, you know, going through things, but I feel like from the moment where you could take accountability and then you can take responsibility, you know what I'm saying, and you could kind of, you know, make conscious decisions and you kind of get closer to your purpose, I feel like then you're a man. I don't feel like age is, you know, particularly what's gonna, you know, depict whether you're a man or not. I feel like it's never ending rehearsal. It's like for always. It's always going. I feel like the sooner you could overcome your adversities, then you're one step closer to becoming a man, and that could be at any age. I know grown folks that are young spirited, and then I know some young folks that are very matured, and, you know, life has put them through situations where they had to step up and become the man in their life. So I don't feel like age is a thing. I feel like it's more like a individuality thing. Yeah, but that's my take.
I heard that makes a lot of sense to me. But do you feel as though a lot of these experiences that you're talking about that teach you accountability, right?
Yeah.
Kind of come later on in life for most people or for most men?
I feel like it could come at any time, you know, because look like for instance, coming from like West Africa, all right? Let's look at West Africa as a whole. Let's say like you came from a very poor background and all you know is survive. Or like in Harlem, like all certain people know is how to survive. So it pushes you to kind of mature sooner than somebody that kind of came from an environment where it's more like relaxed. So maybe in their scenario, they would probably have to go through a bit of more experiences in order for them to be a bit more mature. So I really feel like it's big on like what you're around more rather than just age.
And the age.
Yeah.
So based on that though, would you say then that people become mature and what you would define as a man more like earlier in life back home as compared to here in the West?
I wouldn't say neither is here or there. What I would say though is that it's more so on the environment like the individual finds themselves in, because like you could still be from the West, but you could probably be in a neighborhood, or you could probably not have your dad in your life, or you could probably be in a dynamic that pushes you to be more mature than your peers, and you could even probably be more wiser than even a person in Africa. Or you could be in Africa likewise, and you could be in an environment that made you more mature and wiser than somebody in the West. So I just feel like the individuality is what really matters along with your environment, not necessarily like the age factor.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me, man. Marcus, what's your thoughts on that?
Obviously, that's just his opinion, isn't it? It is probably. I agree and I don't agree. I probably feel where you're coming from. It's down to the individual. You know what I'm trying to say? Everybody's individual experience is different. You know what I'm trying to say? But also, life is definitely the best teacher.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you don't know in it. So granted, there's going to be young people that are, I don't know, for any age out there, 21, 22, but they've been the head of their household since they were 15, 14, and they've got life experiences that have hardened them and made them more mature. And depending on their upbringing or whatever, who they got around them, they probably hold a certain amount of wisdom and that, which is fine. You get me? And once you're of a certain age and you're an adult male, you are a man per se. But even that individual, put 20 years on them, they're a different person. Like,
exactly.
Like facts.
Yeah.
Like they could be as mature as they want at 21. I don't care what life's dealt with you and whatnot. By 41, they're more than likely going to be a different person. Like you know what I'm trying to say? Like the majority of us, once you live life and you reach a certain age, there is like a switch that goes off, like a light that goes off, because it's like like I was blind but now I see, because you don't know what you don't know, and you think all types of things when you're growing up. You know what I'm trying to say? That obviously your environment will shape your thoughts and stuff like that. But then you get to a certain age and you're like, rah. You get me? Because especially when you're young, you think you got all the answers. Yeah. Especially if you're headstrong and if you're intelligent and whatnot, you think you know what's going on. And then like life is the best teacher. You have to go through things. You have to go through experience. You know what I'm trying to say? So the chances are someone that's 40 in their 40s has more life experience than you, which is just a fact. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's not opinions. That's just counting. Like you know what I'm trying to say? Like that's a fact. So they are going to be not more of a man, but I guess more well-rounded. I don't know.
Do you know what I think? I feel like the way he worded it is what makes it off. You know what I mean? Not like, because I agree with you totally as far as like, obviously like I'm 28 now, but I'm not the same as I was when I was 21, no matter how wise or experienced I thought I was. But I feel like it's not a thing where you become a real man. I think that word real man, I don't think that's appropriate. I feel like it's like you're never ending and growing and you're evolving into different, phases of your life and you're getting better or you're getting more mature, but I don't think it's a thing where you become a real man. I feel like you're a man from the moment that you can start, from the moment you accept the whole self-enrichment, self-improvement. I feel like you're walking towards becoming a man. I don't think that the 42 cap is what makes it like you're the real man.
The numbers specific.
Yeah,
how I got there. You get me?
Like my nigga, you bugging. Like why 42?
Does it depend on what you do with your experiences though? Because like you said, both of you said, yeah, if you're young and you've got this wealth of experiences, responsibilities that's placed on you at early age, if it cripples you though, right, and you don't necessarily learn from it necessarily, but you're kind of pushed down because of the weight of these responsibilities, does that make you less of a man then? Because then I guess as you get older, you're not equipped with everything you should have learned from having those responsibilities.
I think it probably just means that whatever you went through has, kind of overpowered you. So you still haven't grasped it yet. Is that the word? Yeah, you still haven't really learned from your experiences. So in that individual's scenario, you still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. You can still be the 42 and
exactly.
still, ain't got it yet.
Brent, what's your thoughts when you heard that clip?
I think that he is the happiest with himself now. So he's looking back and he wants people to judge him from his adult movings based on who he is now.
He's
right?
trying to project.
Everything else that I've done, please just cut it down to youth, And that's a cop out, 100%. But I kind of liked when he said, he said a few things well.
You're talking about Ned End?
Yeah, that the more you learn, knowledge-wise, as a black man, the more you become bitter because you realize we don't own anything. That was my takeaway from that. Yeah. Obviously, I just discarded the whole, you only have to be, to reach 42 is to fully become a man. I think that's bollocks, right? So I left that to the side. But that bit, that was interesting for me.
Well, what age did you become a man, Brent?
When did I believe that I was responsible for my actions?
No, that's not what I asked.
I know. Young. Manhood. What is manhood to me? Being able to look after myself and others that I love. I guess
Kids can do that.
That could also be young, right?
A kid can do that.
Yeah, 100%. But that's normally attributed to like an adult, isn't it? So I guess it's the question you're asking me. What is manhood?
What does it? Yeah, what does it mean to be a man to you?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that I have a penis. No. Honestly, I haven't sat down to basically, have this deep thinking about what it means to me to be a man. I'm just thinking, I'm a male.
If you're going to talk like that, it's 2025.
That's true.
And we don't want to offend anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
You're talking about the non-OGs.
I'm just saying.
No. I'm not looking to offend. That's not my intent. You asked me a question.
Okay, sorry.
The first thing that came to mind is I have a penis, isn't it? The second thing might be that I can look after myself and others around me. I can take care of anybody that I invite into my particular lived experience, my world. I hold myself accountable for my actions and don't hide behind flipping cowardice. You know what I'm saying? What else? I do what I say. Keep my word in that. I build stuff. I make stuff. Right? So, this is for me. My understanding of manhood. I make stuff. I'm able to basically look after myself. And if that means building or growing, I can do it. And if I don't know it, I find out. Right? Always searching, always probing to make myself better. That's for me. So it started with this a willy, and then it went on to different things. You get me?
Yeah, but you take the sex bit away, the penis, willy.
Yeah.
A woman can say all those things.
That's cool. And maybe for her, that
That's what she strongly believes in.
I'm gonna tell her that she has to feel what I feel.
Have either of you got anything different if you was going to describe what it means to be a man to you?
Like you said, and the guy on the video said, I think what means to become a man is as soon as you could take accountability and you're able to, you know, I feel like once you're able to learn the lessons from the experience, I think then you kind of on your way to becoming a better man.
I like that, and you would say the same thing. That what women can say that.
I suppose it's just trying to I'm just trying to work it out. Obviously, like it's just on a base level, like once you're an adult male, you're a man in it. So these type of things, it's like everybody's individual experiences. They're projecting what's important to them. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I suppose it's just about the type of man that that you want to be like. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so and everybody's got different outlooks on life and different ideas and different morals and what suits for them in it. So when you're in a place with yourself, it's like what you said about my man, he's just projecting now. This is the happiest version of himself. When you're in a place with yourself, when you're happy with the type of man you are, I guess that's what it will be. So it could fall under anything. I don't know, like I'm saying, just basic, just on science, being a man, being a male human, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm trying to say?
Even when he mentioned the part about how black men or was it black men or black people? Black men don't own anything. I mean, I hear you, but that's wrong. That's not true. I mean, that's more of the, you know, in America maybe, but if you go to like Africa, or there's even a lot, not even Africa, a lot of places there's black owned things. There's a lot of, you know, black geniuses. There's a lot of black creatives. There's a lot of like black politicians, people that own properties, businesses, entrepreneurs. There's like, I feel like that mind frame, we've grown past that. Like that whole stigma of black people don't own nothing, like that's gone.
I think when people talk that, they're talking about like systematic structures and stuff like that, because there's black ownership, there's black billionaires, there's black things, but then once you start understanding the structures that move the needle in the world and that control things, there's not any systems or societies that you can accredit to the black man, really. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and when you go into Africa and government and stuff like that, and you see that these Europeans are still behind them, controlling them, still pushing their agendas. So I think when they say that stuff, they're not talking on a level, because there is black ownership, there's black billionaires, there's man got land registered to tear, but I just think they're talking about the
higher ups.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's not like a Wakanda.
And he's talking about within the framing of his experience living in America. It's very different to living in Africa. You understand? And yes, 100%. Like, black people own so many different things. I own my flipping toothbrush. I can say I own that, right? But as you said, it's just the structures that you don't see a large percentage of representation of black men or women in those particular spaces. That's what he's talking about. And that, yes, over time, hopefully that will change. It will continue to change, right? And remaining bitter and not doing anything with it is not going to basically help that change. And that speaks to the mindset that you were talking about. You know? But how about you, Emmanuel? What is it for you to be a man?
Honestly, I agree with pretty much what Margs was saying in terms of anatomically, we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you a man. But I think in the world, we have additional things that make us say, okay, this is a more effective man. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on how you see the world. And I think ultimately, my thing would be you become a real man or whatever it may be, a man when you know who you are. Because I think everybody has a different purpose. Everyone sees the world differently. When you try and be something you're not meant to be, you're still trying to find something. You're still in search of something. There's still a void. And that thing that will complete you, right, and kind of not necessarily fulfill your purpose, because you're not going to fulfill your purpose at 32, right? But when you kind of know where you're going, you have knowledge of self and certain things, you know where you're going, I think at that point, you're like, cool, I can't be shaken or moved from certain positions in my life as it pertains to the things that matter. I think at that point, something clicks. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what basically makes you a man.
Beautiful. I would like for a couple women to come onto Discord for you all to answer that question.
What's
What
a real
makes
man?
you a woman, not real man?
I was gonna
And
say,
then I will then ask. I will then
moving
ask from their
crazy.
perspective. Yes, I will then ask what makes
Moving
you,
nuts.
what makes somebody else a man. Good morning, Godders. How are you?
No.
Good morning, gents.
Morning.
Yes, big up everyone.
Big up.
Yeah. I heard what my man said. I think way F type was basically the putting the specifics on the age on the 42 part, which is it's wrong. We all disagree that ain't the one because as we all know, everyone learn things at different stages of their lives, innit? But there's nothing that constitutes to you being exactly a man. There's no like general worldly accepted notion that yep, if you done this, now you're a man. You get what I'm saying? So it's all subjective, bro, at the end of the day. But to point out what Muggs was alluding to, and you as well, Ben, was on the world stage, we don't own much, bro. We don't control much. An easy example would be yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but Trump announcing the tariff rates, and I couldn't help but not notice not much African countries were on there, which to me just told me like, bro, these lot don't even rate us like that. We got no powers as such on the world stage to affect anyone. You get what I'm saying? Like collectively, if we decided today ban them, we just do us. Yes, we can control stuff, but not giving away our minerals, that kind of stuff. But end of the day, you got that part right on the. When you're 42, when you're a bit of an age, you see the world for what it is. When you're a youth man, even if you have a child, yeah, on the individual level, you can say, yeah, I can look after my youth, I can buy this, I can buy that, but you haven't lived. Like there's real life experiences, like that you will not learn until you get to certain ages, innit?
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
Me, I'm 47, bro. Sorry, 46.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, most of my fortunes came when I was past 40, bro.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say I didn't make a lot when I was young, but I blew it. You get what I'm saying? If I had the mindset I had now when I was a youth man, I'll probably be a multi-millionaire. You get what I'm saying? Easily, just by doing the right things and accepting that, bro, you don't need to buy the whips, the chains, the garms. Like, you don't need to do all that stuff. It's nonsense. I could have invested earlier. It's only till like my later years that I started doing investments and buying stocks, shares, trading. You get what I'm saying?
Do you have an age for yourself personally that you felt that if you had to look back now and say, okay, cool, I was a man that the man I wanted, I don't know what it is, the man you wanted to be or whatever it may be?
I don't, but for my own personal experiences, when I was early 20s, that's when it hit me that, bro, you need to do certain stuff. You can't move a certain way, innit? But I understand that's on an individual level. But equally, you can't, I don't think you can put much weighting on, like, how can I say, force learning of anything. I don't think is the proper way to experience real life issues. Like having a child young and being forced to learn how to be a parent is not the same way as if, like my wife and I, we planned to have a child, we were ready, everything set, the child was in a happy growing environment. Whereas if you're young, you have a child young, you're forced to do certain things, and in that stance, you're never gonna learn how to do things properly, innit?
Do you feel like you was a man when you was 36?
Yeah, I felt late 20s because that's when I took real responsibilities of my wife, my children, man them around. Like,
so would you say you're the same person now at 46 as you was at 36?
No.
So
because growth, bro, whether you like it or not, huh?
What, like, have you improved or?
Big time.
So what, you saying you're more of a man now?
Yeah, I think you grow with. So, were you saying something?
No. He was.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, because obviously you're saying the age thing doesn't matter, but obviously you're a certain age, and you said that you felt like you was a man from when you was 36, but at 46 you're a totally different man. You're a better man.
Yeah,
So
because life is teaches you a lot, bro. Every experience you have changes you and tweaks you to know how to handle everything that may come at you. You get what I'm saying? There's certain things like people will never be able to navigate. I'm originally from Uganda. Yeah, I came here because of war. I came here as a refugee. I've lived through bombs, grenades, shootings, like madness going on in my area. Like, I came to London, when I see the road thing happening, whatever, I got involved, but most of it didn't faze me because I saw a lot worse at a younger age. You get what I'm saying? So it's all different. It's like the brother you've got on there, I didn't get his name, but he said, like, early, there's certain things that happen throughout your life, innit? And it either breaks you or makes you. And that's really the facts of it, bro. Like, we shouldn't attach a number to being a man, because whether people like it or not, being a man is somewhat subjective, because being a man in the Western society is not the same as being a man in, say, in Uganda or, I don't know, Nigeria, wherever country in the world. There's differences in it. But he said, like certain parts, like in the Brazilian things that happen throughout your life, tropical areas.
Is he lagging or something?
Sorry, I accidentally pressed the stream, so we were hearing like two versions of you.
Oh, okay.
You can go on, Goddess. My apologies.
Yeah. There's different versions of what being a man is. So yeah, we can't even agree on what a Western man is supposed to be. Because if you ask the Trumps of this world what a man is, he'll tell you a different version to what Muggs thinks a man is. You get what I'm saying? It's all subjective, and every time we get into the realms of being subjective, bro, it's like faith and religion, bro. Like, everyone's gonna say their part and think their part is right, but at the end of the day, so you just, as a man, you just do what's right. You look after your nearest and dearest. You take responsibility. You have accountability, and you do what you're supposed to do: protect, love, nurture, male or female children. You do what you can and best. You don't run away from your responsibilities. You take accountability when you need to. If you F up, cool, take it on the chin. You keep it moving, bro.
Okay. Do you think like our parents and stuff like was more mature than us at the ages, like they was more like they grew into men and women quicker and earlier? When I look back when I was younger, and like my parents and their friends and stuff like that, like when they was like, I don't know, like 30, like just 30, early 30s and that, they was living like big people. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they had their families there in their yards, and they had, not like, obviously I don't know what's going on in individuals' lives, but they look like they got their shit together as like adults. They were adults to me, and I would feel like that because I'm looking at it through a kid's lens. Yeah. But even still, growing up now and getting certain ages and then seeing what 30-year-olds are like today, they're kids. Not, you know what I'm trying to say though? Like, or is it because life expectancies going up and we're gonna live longer, so the ages are different now? A 30 today is not like a 30 back in the day.
I feel like back then things weren't as desensitized as they are now. So like things were more realistic. So like, to be honest, like, you know, the times my parents, you know, were growing up, I feel like the world wasn't as advanced. So there's like more purpose to what you're doing versus right now everything is so accessible, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even when I be seeing like toddlers, like 2-3-year-olds, because like I be teaching too, like I'm a teacher, so I be seeing that they're very like not even matured, but they're very like in tune to this whole like electronic and, you know, like modern day BS that's going on at such a young age, where back then like we weren't even thinking like as such. So I think that has a big role to play.
I think that blows people's minds because obviously I'm a certain age where I learned through that I've lived through that technology, like tablets and stuff like that, like iPads and whatnot. I remember a time when they didn't exist. I remember when they wasn't here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I've had to learn that as an adult. And then what you're saying is I could see a 2-year-old grab the iPad and go.
Yeah, I be in the classroom like
What?
they know everything.
It's totally different for them. They that's what they, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the entrance into life. Like, had this, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so,
the scope of getting information immediately has changed, bro. Like, anyone now can just hop on the phone and get any information they want, whereas back in the day, you had to learn it through real life events, through going to uni, through going to, I don't know, teaching, learning from your nearest and dearest, or a teacher at school or something. You get what I'm saying? Now, literally anything, I can ask a question right now. Man can just jump on the phone, boom, answers there. And back then, you had to learn through slow, real life
It's like they created
meetings
a lot
and
of
greetings.
borderline laziness. Like everybody's mentally lazy. Like now, well, a lot of people are mentally lazy right now. Like just even look at like the telegraph. Like back then, when you wanted to communicate, you'd probably have to send letters. You know what I'm saying? Like even when it comes to interviews, like you know, like everything was so well done. So I feel like by default, it made people intelligent versus like
Brother,
right now.
Put that back up, Brent, sorry.
Yeah, do you know there are some people who have forgotten how to write legibly?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Now you don't even need to study right now. Like right now, literally, you could even use ChatGPT to literally formulate like from a resume to your 2,000-3,000 word dissertation. Like you could even hire people in India to sit in the exam and write it for you. There's so many, like, you know what I mean? Like nothing is really real these days.
Obviously, it's making life easier, but it is dumbing us down. I remember examples of me like being on the roads, the young, 15, 16, driving and that. Anywhere you are in the borough, and certain places of maybe South London, depending on where I move, you could tell me the road name.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the map.
I don't even know map. Just tell me the roadman name. I'll get to you.
Yeah,
I just need to know where you are. Where you are, Cayston Road. All right, cool. Step in.
Yeah.
Now, if my battery died,
Same.
Waze, I'm done. and it's messed me up because it's places where I know where I'm going. I know these places, but I still
100%.
feel like I need this Waze on. You know what I'm saying?
And the Waze is telling you about police. Even look at even the streets right now. The streets ain't even the same. Like now you got all of this like electronic money. You got nerd ass kids that I know, you know, you're a nerd. You ain't never been in the streets. You ain't outside. You ain't even about it. But you over here
Shout
like
out to the nerds.
you over here like hacking your way into somebody's account, and then calling somebody and cling like you didn't cash out like 10 bands. So it's like there's no like honor even in the streets these days. Like you know what I mean. You meet a rapper that's probably like portraying to be something, and then you know like the other day I watched the video of The Game. He's been pushing, oh yeah, I'm blood, I'm that. But then they put up a video of him like 15 years ago. You had like a tongue piercing. You was never him. Like, you know what I mean?
He
So
was a
it's like,
stripper as well.
yeah, so there's like this.
And then influencing people, that's what's the bad. That's what's the worst about it. Because obviously you could be who you want to be, but it's the fact that you're perpetrating something and then influencing people.
Real life
people
always
lose their kids.
catches
That's
up.
always crazy. Quickly, Black Rob said, BR Doom, I think he's going by now. It was better than Black K anyway, so you got off that one quick.
He's earned that, to be honest.
It says the fact that we cannot agree on the definition of a universal concept is the biggest issue in the generation as a whole. It bleeds into like so many topics, but
Exactly.
But there's nothing.
That's what I was saying earlier.
But it's hard. There's not a universal idea of what a man is apart from the. Apart from our biology, like, that's the only thing that's definitive. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, a man is an adult, an adult male. Yeah, you need a penis, you need whatever chromosome you need, whatnot. That's the only thing that's definitive. Everything else is subjective, depending on you, depending on your upbringing, depending on how you see things. Like, there's not how are you gonna
culture. Like, we already know certain tribes in Africa, you have to do certain rites of passage to become a man. If you ain't done that, you ain't a man. You could be 60. You ain't done it, you ain't a man. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely is dependent on culture and the time periods that we're in. You know what I mean? So
I say a lot of the time with my demographic that I'm in and man's upbringing in the hood, like a lot of us are learning a lot of us are learning how to be men now. You know what I'm trying to say? And people will hold it against us and say that man are immature and man are this. So look at people, you get a certain age and you ain't got your life together. But they don't understand that we're learning on the fly. You know what I'm trying to say? We never really had those kind of role models or someone set out a way for you. You know what I'm trying to say? And tell you this is what you do, this is how you move. We're literally just learning and doing stuff. Like you're gonna be having kids young, getting money, all that kind of stuff. They don't necessarily make you a man. You don't know. You still don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's like what we've been saying. It's the life experiences, and you get into a certain age and growing old and understanding certain things and going through certain things and learn how to handle that and taking on more responsibility on life and responsibility for other people and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that shape you. But there's bare people from our demographics in the cities and whatnot. That are literally learning now, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm obviously I'm young. Yeah.
He said, "Let me get that out there."
I'm young. We're all young until we're not.
I'm young. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, obviously, I'm maturing super late in my life. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm 40 this year. You get me? And there's be people that will say, you're 40, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that, or you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. I was like, shut your bitch ass up, man. You don't know me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't know where I come from or what I've been through. I'm just getting my shit together. Nothing happened before it's time. I can't, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I didn't plan this shit. Like, when I get it right, I'll get it right. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, just the fact that I'm working on it, I'm doing it. That's all I don't want to hear anything else. So you can't put these expectations of me. You get me? I say that to say I've only got 2 years left till I hit 14 TK. And I'm not sure I'm fully there yet. You know what I'm trying to say? That so just mind your business, TK.
He said, I ain't ready.
I still got a lot of life.
That's the other thing as well, you know, man. Them like too many of us try and put our notion of what being such and such should be. Like, leave everyone to do what they think. If they're not harming you, whatever, like, why does it matter to you when someone matures or start acting a different way or similar to you? Like, we can all be different, but as long as we respect each other and do what we're supposed to do for ourselves, for our nearest and dearest, like, relax, bro.
I think with that one, it's more so on an insecurity thing. You know, some people, they feel like they need to measure their own growth by, you know, assessing somebody else's journey and comparing it directly within themselves. True. So that's another thing too. Like, you know, it's a whole lot of character building. So I feel like that's why certain people do that. They have so much to say.
Do you feel like it's somewhat problematic? Like this kind of goes back to what Brent was saying earlier about the women calling up and answering the question of what is a real woman. Because I don't really ever hear anyone talking about, you're not a real woman. Like women like talking amongst themselves, saying you're not a real woman. Or men even saying you're not a real woman because you're not doing X, Y, Z. Why is it there seems to be a focus on, but he is not a real man and this makes you a real man and stuff?
You do hear men basically saying to women, you're not a real woman.
Do we?
Yeah. It's more so...
Is it the incel people?
No.
Okay.
As in, the gender roles conversation. That's what I'm saying.
The what?
The gender roles conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. That falls into that, no?
I guess so. But that's a new phenomenon then.
If there's a woman... if there's a woman who subscribes to that gender role stuff and does the stuff that you deem, that you put value on and you deem as a thing, you're going to say that's a real woman right there. That's a good woman.
Yeah, I guess so. But then I feel as though you don't really hear that in society.
I know what you mean, because women, like especially in society these days, they're so quick to say, as a man, you're supposed to do this. As a man, or a real man wouldn't do it. But it's like...
men do that too. I've had arguments on the pod where man talking about like, say like them girls that do OnlyFans and stuff, and man are arguing about their thing and if I'm trying to defend them, because obviously, you know, I'm a super feminist, but like, and then man's telling me, but they're not real women. And I'm like, whoa there, buddy. That's a bit of a low blow. That's dangerous language. That's crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like, so people do have expectations of both sexes. I think that stuff does definitely still happen. But again, all that kind of thing is going to be subjective. It's going to be like what you deem value in that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, those are the things that you're going to project onto a woman and tell man.
I think what's
you know what is mad?
What's mad?
Do you know what's mad? Us men probably can't even agree on what a real woman is, apart from the biology side of things. What you think a real woman is to you might be different to what I think a real woman is to me.
I don't think that's mad. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. We're all individuals in this life, and we all
You
got
try and
different,
tell
we all got
ladies
different
that.
hopes and dreams, bro. Huh?
You try and tell ladies that. They'll tell you you're supposed to do this, and that for me.
Man, I
If
feel,
you don't do anything on our checklist, you ain't a man.
I feel
Why
like
does
that's
Nadia
it.
pretend to hate me? She just loves me so much. She said Margs is not a feminist. I do have to Google what a feminist is for you. I believe in the equal rights for women. I believe they should be treated the same. That's on a baseline. I ain't weaponizing feminism
I
like
believe
anybody
that
else.
too,
I ain't got nothing.
bro.
I'm not talking about gender roles. I'm not talking about none of this nonsense. I'm just in the equality of women, old school suffragette thing. You know about the suffragettes, Nadia?
I think it'll be easier for us for Nadia to
done for
basically
you?
say why you aren't a feminist.
Nah, well, I believe women get
Open
the
up
vote to
them
right.
gates.
I believe if you work, do the same job as a man, you deserve equal pay. I believe you should be treated with respect and dignity, and it shouldn't change because of your sex. That's basic.
Majority of the
that's
time they
basic
are, bro.
base level feminism, and that's what I believe. I stand in solidarity.
Man,
with
I
my
agree, bro.
sisters, Nadia. I'm sorry to disappoint
I
you.
totally agree. I just feel like woman or man is just character. Like good character is what is everything. Like, you know, I don't think whether you're a real woman, real man, I just feel like if you have good character, then everything can flow. So that's what I look for, especially when it comes to women. Like, I just look for your character. So it gives me the ick when a woman be saying, as a man, you're supposed to this. I feel like that's low level thinking. Because I feel like there's no such thing as a man. Like, who said I had to do this because I'm a man? Or who said I had to act as if I want to do whatever, it's just based on what I believe in or what I want to do. It's not necessarily because I'm a man, meaning I have to necessarily do that.
I hear you. Makes sense, man. Godders, you want to add anything else?
Nah, man. It's like I said. From time we dive into the world of subjectivity, bro. You're never gonna agree on things, innit? Same with religion. Yesterday's conversation. Like, everyone's gonna have their reasons why they think they are, why certain things are like this, and then the next man will come with their spin on it, or the next woman will come with their spin on it. So it's counterintuitive and counterproductive to whatever you're trying to do. You get what I'm saying? You just need to, as yourself, you just need to know what you're about, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and just go for it, man. Those who can help. Those who can't, keep it moving, man.
I'm sorry to change the thing here because someone keeps saying this stuff. Yeah, Loons does this stuff to me. Yeah, I think men are sick in their head. Yeah, I say, yeah. How can I say I believe women deserve equality? Yeah, and men are looking at me going, I see your game, King. What? Like, 1 second. What? Like, is that how low the bar is? That gal are gonna throw crutches on me because I'm saying they deserve to be treated equal? Like, is that? Listen, what?
I never said
What?
this.
Are they trying to say you don't treat them equal?
You could
Bugs,
never win
is that
with
what they
them.
said?
This is crazy.
You could never win.
This is crazy, man. I said, yeah, you're trying to get bitches. You're trying to what? Because I'm saying, yeah, deserve to be.
Is there a correlation since you became a feminist? Is there a correlation in your market value?
No,
You sure?
That is wow.
I was getting gal from when I was a womanizer.
So, Muggs, are you saying you're
You get what I'm saying? What about when I was a womanizer? What was you saying then? You went, what?
Yeah, but you know,
But I said when I was. he said in 2 more years and I'm
Let's say I'm out. Hey, yo.
This is crazy, man. I just want better for the fellas, man. I just want better for them, man. We're gonna change our outlooks on life.
Amen. And
Muggs,
amen.
can I ask you a question?
Sure, King.
Are you a feminist,
Yes.
brother?
1 second. And let me Google this.
You
Brent,
can't
Google it.
say
Can you put the
yes
definition on the
with-
screen?
Nadia says it's performative.
No, it's because they've clocked your feminism is performative. What, for women to deserve equal rights? I'm performing.
That's what I'm saying.
No, bro, you can't say you're a feminist because by definition, a feminist can only be a woman, bro.
No.
You can support them and say you're down for their cause, but you as a man can't be a feminist, bro.
Oh, you can. You can.
This is crazy. All right, I just want a basic definition and then tell
All
me.
right.
One second, I'm gonna get a
I've
basic
got no problem
definition
being
and then I want to know why I'm
being
performing.
proved wrong, you know. So you man, tell me, can a man be a feminist?
Yeah.
Feminism, the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. What is performative about that? What on earth have you seen from me as a man, as a human being, the things that I've said or, I don't know, opinions that I've shared that make you think I don't believe that? Like, I'm super confused.
I think they're probably just judging you based on you, the character, not, which is wrong.
Yeah, I think so too, bro.
They think that you can't be a
it's a
womanizer
you.
and a feminist at the same time.
And you just
I think that speaks to my...
you just kind of bloated it out. I was a womanizer.
It's conflict. It's
The moral of the
conflicting,
story
bro.
is I love gal. Like, don't you get it?
They'll tell you love
I'm
one, bro.
proper confused. I need to unpack this one. We need to work this out. I need to get to the bottom of this. Understand why people have this opinion of me because it's crazy. Like,
And a lot of people basically say the same thing, innit?
yeah, like, bury them,
What?
like bury them. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I feel like women would probably think that you can't be a feminist because you don't have experience of living like a woman. But I feel like that's even wrong to think like that.
Well, I'm definitely a supporter then.
Yeah, we love y'all, our black queens,
100%. See, he knows.
We care about y'all.
All right.
Goddess, thank you very much for contributing to the topic of the
good,
day.
brother.
I shall be seeing you later.
Yeah, man. Catch up later, man.
All right, cool.
All right. Let's get into
Bless everyone.
Bless.
All right, man.
We're getting into more headlines? Let's go.
All right, people. So this next headline, trigger warning, people, trigger warning. 6 grieving mothers, united by the shared tragedy of losing their children in car accidents, have called on the government to tighten restrictions on new drivers to save lives. The mothers wept on the steps of number 10 as they hand-delivered a 100,000 signature petition to Downing Street on Wednesday yesterday, demanding stricter licensing laws and graduated driving licenses. Crystal Owen, whose 17-year-old son, Harvey, died alongside 3 friends in a crash in November 2023. She spearheaded the petition, and she said, why at 17 are they allowed to be in charge of a lethal weapon a day after passing their tests, and yet they are not allowed to buy alcohol? GDLs, which is the graduated driving licenses, are a system that gradually introduces new drivers to full driving privileges that is used in several countries, including the US, Canada, Australia, and Sweden. The mothers are calling for a minimum 6-month learning period for learner drivers before they're eligible for a practical test. Restrictions for new drivers should also be imposed for the first 6 months after someone passes their test or until they are 20. They also feel that drivers should be banned from carrying passengers aged 25 or under unless accompanied by an older adult. The campaign is also backed by AA people, which believes that new drivers aged under 21 should be banned from carrying passengers of a similar age for 6 months after passing their test. Next headline, and a convicted terrorist has been allowed to stay in the UK after counter-terrorism police backed his refugee claim. The 43-year-old Syrian was jailed for 2 years for terrorism offences back in 2017 after being granted refugee status in the UK 3 years earlier. The Home Office sought to revoke his status on the basis that he had been convicted of a serious crime and constituted a danger to the community. However, the man appealed, arguing that he no longer posed a threat and had not reoffended since he was released from prison. He was then backed by an officer from counter-terrorism police in the northwest of England who said that the Syrian had not been involved in any further incidents or crimes and had a clean and tidy house. The officer, named as PC Downey, who was responsible for managing the Syrian after his release, told the tribunal that he was at low risk of reoffending and of being a danger to the community in the UK. He also said that he had a job and had complied with all of his license conditions after being freed from jail. And the last headline, pupils in England are to be taught how to spot the risks of in-game purchases, as well as to scrutinise the claims of influencers in a new suite of lessons designed to improve their financial literacy. The package of 80 lessons is aimed at teaching pupils aged 5 to 16 how to navigate online spending after reports of children spending large sums of their own or parents' money online, often inadvertently. Parents have found that the cost of children often do not realize their special features. This is kind of messed up. And one Guardian reader recently described how their 8-year-old daughter spent more than £8,500 over 90 days on the Apple App Store.
See, that's what I was saying.
Unaware that the money she was spending was real. So the girl had been sending money to YouTube channels, and the YouTubers then befriended her on Roblox in an attempt to make more money from her. Right? This is what her parents said. That to me, this is financial grooming. Right? So this is what she's been doing, man. The new resources that are produced by the Oak National Academy, which was set up during the pandemic to support online learning, are aimed at helping children avoid such mistakes. Parents and financial experts have campaigned for years for better financial education for children to prepare them for the everyday challenges of adult life. And that's it for the headlines. Let's go into People's Journal. All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. To be fair, we kind of touched on some of this earlier in the show about the tariffs. Just wanted to mention, just to give a general overview, basically, of what's happening. Donald Trump basically has imposed a 10% tariff on all imports into the US, with even higher rates for certain countries that he brands the worst offenders. Right?
What did Cambodia do?
That's what I'm saying. But the EU, they've obviously spoken about it. They describe it as a major blow to the world economy. China's basically talking about retaliation. Australia says this is not the act of a friend. So yeah, a lot of people are upset, man. Keir Starmer says clearly there will be an economic impact because it's a 10% tariff on the UK as well. But he also promises to respond with a cool and calm head. This is what Keir Starmer is saying. Just some detail on some of it. Like I said, there's a minimum base level of 10%. That's going to apply to most countries. That's including the UK. And this will start from the 5th of April. So that is on Saturday. Roughly 60 countries deemed as the worst offenders for unfair trade practices by the US have each received a higher and individual tariff rate. So the EU as a whole, EU is going to get 20%. So UK is 10%. EU is 20%. China is 54%, right? Which includes earlier tariffs, right? Japan, 24%. And that's going to come in on the 9th of April. A 25% tariff on foreign-made cars has also been put into place as well. And yeah, like Mark was saying, Cambodia, was it 48%?
49, I think.
There's a lot of things that's happening, man. All the world leaders are basically responding to what's going on. They just think everything's going to go downhill. And to be fair, I agree with them, man. I said this from the very beginning. I really don't understand. Not that I don't understand. I know why he's doing it, but I just don't agree with it. That's my humble opinion, anyway. So yeah, it's probably going to push up inflation in the country, and obviously that's going to have a ripple effect around the world. So,
will it help America though?
It might do long term. I don't think it will, to be honest with you, because I don't have that economic school of thought. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in the whole protectionist economic view. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, your country can be more prosperous by getting products from other countries that are cheaper than if you make it at home.
But it'll drive up production on home, sort out employment. Yeah, that's true.
It potentially could do those things, but then it's going to be at the cost of everybody paying for that. It's going to be a lot more. Do you know what I'm saying? So yes, when we get 10,000 workers here in this particular place, or 50,000 workers over there in that particular plant, but overall we're going to be paying for a lot more because America doesn't make everything. You know what I'm saying? So there's just certain things that's just going to be better for people to get elsewhere. And yeah, unfortunately, that's what's going to be the ripple effect, man.
Cap, man, you've been saying it's beneficial in the future.
When did I say that? When did I say that? I don't understand.
Like, who is this?
When did I say that? I said for America, this is his idea, isn't it? That it might be beneficial, like you said, because then they'll become self-reliant. But long term, for the country, like the people who are spending money, it might be a problem. It will be a problem, in fact. Everything's going to be more expensive. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So again, this doesn't always work. And we've seen it in the past. Like economists like Adam Smith dealt with this back in the 1700s. It just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
So is it just not negotiating? Is this his negotiating tactic, as you normally say?
I mean, how long do you want the negotiations to go for? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think initially he was trying to do that. But I do think long term he just wants America to be self-sufficient. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But to try and do it by putting tariffs on imports, it's going to directly affect everyone in the country. Everyone. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But yes, there isn't much else to really speak about, to be fair. I want to go into a bit more detail probably about the spring statement, but probably tomorrow, man, because we have an interview to get into.
Let's get into our interview, man.
Yeah. All right, people. You've already heard the wisdom of our guest already,
Come on.
right? But I do want him to introduce himself. He has got like a wealth of experience. You know what I'm saying? Been through a lot. Creative, musician, talented. But I'll let him introduce himself.
Yo, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having me.
No problem,
Yeah,
man.
the environment is hella cozy. But yeah, I go by the name of Skillz 8Figure. You know, I represent West Africa.
Okay, then.
You know, I'm born in Sierra Leone. Grew up in, you know what I mean? Grew up in New York, Harlem. You know, but like I said, I represent West Africa regardless.
Nice.
So some cheeky people, like in the chat, has been saying that like you learned your accent whilst in Lagos, but they got it all wrong.
I learned my accent while I was in Lagos.
They thought you were Nigerian. And they thought you never touched down
Going on them, man.
in New York.
Man. Big ups.
The you were talking about, man.
Yeah, big ups them, man. Big ups them.
So you're born and raised in Sierra Leone, yeah?
No, not raised, but
Okay, just
I
born
was
there.
I was born in Sierra Leone. You know, but I had the privilege of going back and forth. You know, I also spent a lot of time in Ghana. I spent time in Lagos too. So that's why I push on the fact that I still represent West Africa because I feel like we're all the same.
This is it, man.
Miles
This is
Ghanaian.
it. You know what? There you go. Race is also personal. But with all of our guests,
Yeah.
we have a game that we play called 140.
Okay.
And basically, it's a mixture of preference questions, but also like proper facts as well, right?
Okay.
Knowledge-based, like almost like pop quiz sort of questions, right?
Yeah.
We asked you a bunch of questions over a 140 beat. You don't have to rap or sing or anything, but just answer as quick as possible.
Okay. So on the beat.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
yeah.
Let me see.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you don't know the answer, just say pass. Don't
Okay.
dwell on it because it's time that you're wasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60 seconds. That's basically
All right,
it. Yeah.
cool.
When you're ready, Brent?
All right, I am ready. Are you ready, Emmanuel?
I am indeed.
All right.
Mark's ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
You
3,
first.
2, 1.
Music or movies?
Music.
How many wings does a butterfly have?
I don't know, pass.
Who was the first black British woman to win an Olympic gold medal?
Pass.
Smoothies or milkshakes?
Smoothies.
How many zeros are there in 1 million?
Pass.
How many time zones are there in the world?
How many what?
Time zones.
12.
Black or African?
Both.
What is the capital of Sierra Leone?
Freetown.
Who recently headlined the Super Bowl halftime show?
They not like us. Kendrick.
Religion or spirituality?
Spirituality.
What's the square root of 81?
Pass.
Name a Premier League team that wears red.
Manchester United.
Walking or biking?
Walking.
What is the main language spoken in Mexico?
Spanish.
Who was the first black woman to win a Best Actress at the Academy Awards?
Pass.
Okay.
I think you got into your groove, man. Started getting some of these questions right. You did well. You did well, man.
I was bumping. But who was the first black woman?
Academy Award?
Yeah.
Halle Berry.
Okay.
The first British black woman to win the Olympic gold medal was Denise Lewis. What else did you miss? The butterfly has 4 wings.
And I know I missed the time zone.
Oh, yeah. What did you say, 12?
I said 12, yeah.
Those doubles, 24.
Okay.
Did you get the zeros and the millions?
Nah.
I passed it.
Passed it.
You didn't want to try work that one out?
The moment he said, don't think about it too much, just go, I was like, all right, cool.
Okay, there's 6 zeros and a million.
Mm-hmm.
And the square root 81's 9. That was about it, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We did well, man. You did well. All right. So, I do want to get into your background, yeah, like you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Being born. So, what are you like ethnically from Sierra Leone? The parents are from Sierra Leone.
Yeah, well, actually, my mom, she's not fully Sierra Leonean. She's also from Guinea. I don't know if you...
Okay. Guinea-Bissau?
No, Guinea-Conakry.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom, she stems into the Francophone side of things. And then obviously my pops, he's from Sierra Leone.
Okay. Have you been to Guinea?
Yeah.
What's it like over there?
It's amazing, like just seeing how French parts of Africa operate versus how English parts of Africa operate is interesting.
What's that? What is that? Just like the language, or is there different? Like, is it a different culture?
No, there's obviously when it comes to what's that word? Colonialism, right? France went to certain parts of Africa, so they added their own little touch. So the way they do things is a bit more different from how a country like Liberia or Sierra Leone or Nigeria would do things. Yeah, French people, they carry themselves a little bit differently from how the British or the American colonized countries go about things.
There's a place in, I think, Emmanuel, East Africa. I think it's Eritrea. I'm not too sure. Where the Italians, they colonized, and it's like little Italy over there.
Yeah.
They went into Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Tried to, yeah.
Okay. It's like literally little Italy.
Yeah.
Even in the food and whatnot, they do the spaghetti bolognese, the ice creams, the gelato and all that kind of stuff, the cars, the architecture. I was so shocked. These are wicked people,
Yeah, so...
They really wanted to make it their second home, innit?
Yeah.
And just pull everything from it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So in terms of Sierra Leone though, is it like a majority Muslim? Because you're Muslim, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm Muslim, personally.
Okay, cool. Is it a majority Muslim country?
It's 50-50.
Okay. What, as in Christian and
Yeah,
Muslim?
there's a good amount of Christians in Sierra Leone as there is Muslims.
Okay.
I feel like it's really in the middle.
And so when did you, move from Sierra Leone? Where did you go next?
Okay, so I was born, I was born during the war times. So I don't know if you guys are familiar about the whole, Blood Diamond and, all of that stuff. So I was born in 1997.
Wow.
So I left when I was 1.
Wow.
And then they were sending people all over the world. So I think first my parents, they were sent to Ireland. So then, I was over on the Irish side for a bit.
Wow.
For my early, times of primary school. And then after which I had moved down with my pops to America. So that's how my story kind of goes.
Wow. So you remember everything in Ireland? You wasn't when did you leave Ireland?
Probably, I left when I was in probably the 4th class or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was young, maybe 8 or 9 around, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Was it a big difference to America?
Definitely. Ireland is really, really, it's different. Ireland is even, it's just different from the UK. It's very small, it's they're very quiet people. So yeah, I feel like it was a big culture and big shift moving over there.
Were there a lot of black people?
At the time, no. I think me and my brother was probably the only black people in our school.
Okay.
At that time.
At that time?
Yeah, in Dublin, yeah.
Do you still have links to Ireland as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most, let me say, there's 6 of us, so I would say, 3 or 4 of them, they were born in Ireland. So like, they stayed, like I'm probably the only one that, took my own path and went, the way I went. Okay. The way I went. But yeah, majority of them, they stayed in Ireland. They stayed on this side.
Okay. So when you say that you kind of went your own path, at what age did you kind of say, cool, I know who I want to be and this is what's necessary for my walk?
It wasn't really, probably like maybe 15, 16, and only because of, I had, it's crazy because I had even spent time in, like, I had spent time in Sierra Leone at one point too. So let's say like, all right, cool, when I went to America, was there for a bit, and then obviously I was, getting into a lot of stuff, so I had gone back to Africa, and then, had a little fair experience of like what it felt like to go to high school in Africa. Like I went for like a year or two, and then after which I had gone back to America to kind of like finish up, and then I had even gone back again, but only to Ghana that time. That was like on some, my college days. I had done like 2-3 years in Ghana. Yeah, so I was always like bouncing about. And even when I left, like parents and stuff, I've always had to like stay with probably like an auntie or an uncle or this or that. So I've always kind of been by myself, which I feel like that's probably why my story kind of went the way it went. And
probably why I guess you have that the approach that you had to the topic earlier about experiences and the wisdom and stuff.
Yeah.
So what kind of, I guess, changed in America when you got to America?
Yeah.
Like, is that where you started getting interested in music?
No. But I'm gonna be real. Like, I was just trying to be on some like next Pablo. Like, I was just trying to. I was just trying to get money, bro. Like, since like that was my problem. Like, I was very stubborn, and because I feel like I never really had much guidance, too much. Of course, like, I appreciate my parents. They played a beautiful part. But, I was a very stubborn kid. So it's like I never really wanted to do music. It was more so like I was just trying to get money and just do what I wanted to do. But when I moved to Ghana, this was probably like when I was like 18 or so. I was fortunate enough to, get signed to a label out there. Okay. And then they really pushed it on me like, yo, you fly, like you could dress, you got the style, like, bro, why don't you just do music? It's easy, bro. Like, come on, man. Da, 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 da.
So they was pushing you to make
music. They really pushed it on me like, yo, just sing, it's easy, it's not hard, bro. You could dress, you know what I'm saying? You could get girls, da 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 da. Just do it. So then when I started, it just worked in my favor. And then being, from Sierra Leone, not to say there's not people doing it from Sierra Leone, but there's not a lot of people doing it this flat or like doing it, there's, think about it, like Sierra Leone, it's not like Nigeria or other African countries. There's not a lot of us. So it's like I was able to kind of like pivot on that. Okay. And then with the Ghana influence too, so it just kind of worked in my favor.
So is it fair to say that you were kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but like, I guess the record label kind of made you, shaped you?
No.
Or was it your own thing, but it was just like they motivated you to make music?
I feel like they influenced me and inspired me to start making music. But music personally, it's like, music has always been there. Like, growing up, like my mom loves music, like, you know what I mean? Like, she would play the piano, like she would collect like CDs and the little, like, I don't know if you remember them little books, like where you put like your little CD in. So it's always been there, you know what I mean? So it was just more of a thing where like, I feel like what they done was they put me in a pocket where it's like, they made me feel like, oh yeah, like this is, you could actually become, there's more to what you think you are. So I think that's what I would thank them for. But I've always kind of been like, I always been him. Like I always been like, even before being bad or, getting money was a thing. Cause a lot of, in America, a lot of people really just started getting money after like the pandemic for real. Like before Corona, a lot of people in America wasn't really like, there was always the trappers and stuff, but like a lot of this like online and digital money and stuff started coming after the pandemic, you know what I mean? So like, but I've always been kind of stubborn before. Like I've always been in my own world. So I feel like all they done was just give me more direction as to making things make sense.
So how come they signed you in the first place? Like, was you making noise over there?
In Ghana. So when I went to Ghana, I went to study. I went on some like it was a study abroad program. So and I went to go cool off personally because at the time America there's a lot going on and I don't feel like I was mentally matured and I just seen I was probably gonna, you know, end up probably in jail or like, you know, dead because I had lost a lot of niggas too. So I went to Ghana to really, really understand who I was and to, you know what I'm saying, just chill. So in the university I was going, I had met a producer and at the time he was producing for there's an artist called Kwesi Arthur. So that he was like, you know, popping at the time. So then, you know, he liked the fact that I was American, and then he would bring me to the studio, and I'll probably just freestyle on beats, this, that, and then he would just put me on to, you know, Afrobeat songs and how, you know, what's popping over there. And through that is basically just how it started.
Is it? Because obviously you're now residing here in the UK, making music and stuff in the UK, right? Or you still kind of back and forth?
Yeah, I'm still back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you consider home right now?
Home is everywhere for me. Like the UK is home, America's home. Like you know, home is wherever I'm at. Like I carry home on my shoulder. So.
All right.
Yes.
You must have one place
that I really like. That gives me that peace.
Yeah.
Or like, ain't no feeling like. To be honest, ain't no feeling like Africa. You know, like I'm gonna be real. That's really home. You know, but you know, like big ups to the UK because I've also able, you know, I've kind of created a form of home here too, and yeah, so I like it. So I'd probably say Africa and the UK would be home for now.
How long was you in America for?
I was there for like 15 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's where that's home too.
Is there a difference like in terms of the music industry? In terms of what you've experienced in America, Ghana, and the UK?
Difference in what way?
I guess in terms of people's approach to you as an artist. Do you feel like people understand and are more familiar with your style in a particular place?
No, because you know, music is a universal language. So I feel like it cuts through. Yeah. It just depends on how you're singing it and how you're, you know, what's your pen game like. But you know, if you're an individual that appreciates art and you know, good music, then yeah, you could definitely appreciate you know, what I'm putting out there.
So in terms of like collaborations and stuff, because obviously I let the people know today that you're coming on the show in the Discord and stuff.
Okay.
Put a couple of your videos in there. Pretty sure you did the track with Oxlade as well.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
That was all during my time in Ghana.
Okay.
So, you know, we had linked up in Ghana and he's a cool dude, so we just connected.
Okay.
It was really authentic. Yeah.
In terms of the artists here in the UK that you've like done stuff with as well.
Yeah.
Is that through the label or that's you reaching out as well?
You see me, like I would say I'm a really good mingler. So like I'm always trying to like push myself and network and just to, you know, I live my life off law of attraction, so things just be naturally kind of aligning along the journey. So a lot of the artists I have worked with, it really authentically happened.
Okay. And what are you working on at the moment?
Yeah, right now I'm working on my project. I'm about to drop an EP, possibly towards like the summertime. We're looking to drop the first single by the end of April. Then I'm about to go on in 2 weeks. I'm about to go on a show in America in DC for Sierra Leone Independence. So that's a big that's my next upcoming event. It's gonna be lit. Okay. Yeah, so that's the next milestone. I just did Ghana Independence in Brooklyn, like
sick.
Yeah, a couple weeks back.
Sick.
Ain't there like different sounds for like the different like areas, like what's the word I'm looking for?
What, different countries and stuff?
Yeah, it was just different demographics. Like obviously you're making music, you're saying you're still a man of the world, so you're still traveling, going back and forth. But obviously, it's like, is the music you're making, is there a sound that you can make that resonates with everybody, or it's like UK you got to do something different, America they want something different, I'm in Ghana, I need to do something different, or is it like a blend that you found that you think can work?
No. I've managed to like create a sound that, like I said, if you appreciate good music, you could understand it. And honestly, that's another thing that I appreciate, the fact that I was able to go to different places, because it allows me to really express myself in a way that everybody can understand. So even like with an Afro beat, let's say if I have like an African instrumental, because like of my hip hop influence, I could still kind of put like rap flows, but still rap it in like pidgin or in like patois in a way that like, you know, an African can understand, and also like an American can understand, or somebody that's, you know, only listening to English music will understand. So I feel like the sound, you know, I just bring vibes. I'm more big on like the vibes rather than trying to like box myself into say, okay, I'm gonna make this for this or this for that. So yeah.
We got a question from somebody in the chat. They say, can Skillz give a small breakdown of the Ceylon civil war for the wider audience?
Of the Sierra Leone civil war?
Yeah.
So basically, Sierra Leone, there was a lot of politics, you know, for obviously our minerals, which we had diamonds, you know. So obviously you had, you know, expatriates coming in from Europe trying to, you know, take the diamonds, and they would fuel like local gangs and, you know, fuel rebels and, you know what I'm saying, make them try to overthrow the current government at the time. So that kind of, you know, brought the whole disruption, and it went on for years. It went on to even as far as like the early 2000s. So I feel like that really kind of, you know, had a big impact on the country as to why, you know, things were a little bit slower than other countries.
Does any of that like kind of bleed into your music?
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I feel like I could really create home anywhere, because coming from Sierra Leone, like we're like on the top 10 poorest countries in the world.
Wow.
So for me, I feel honored to be one, to be born there, and I also feel honored to be able to be in a room like this today and to talk about it, or be in America tomorrow, or say that I was in Ireland a couple of years ago, because I feel like not everybody was fortunate to be able to see things from different lenses. So I feel like that's where the rebel mentality came from, as far as just fighting for what you want, and you can really like get what you want and become who you become. Like, you know what I mean? Like back to when we were speaking about what a real man is, I feel like that all shapes to my own version of a real man, because, you know, coming from a war country, you always got to fight, and you always got to protect what you believe in.
100%. All of that just sounds like anything that comes in your path, you're going to be somewhat prepared for. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have a pessimistic give up sort of attitude.
Nah, man. I believe in like 110% win-win mentality. And that's where the 8-figure comes from. Because it's all about, you know, like pushing yourself 1% better every day, like on the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about, like I said earlier, you can manifest really your reality as long as you believe in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I try to stay as positive as possible. And to be honest, there's no rules to the game.
Yeah.
And that's with anything. Like, look, like I'm born in Africa, but I still managed to cut my way through Harlem, Ghana, Nigeria, Ireland, now even the UK. So like you can really, as long as you believe in it, I feel like you can really become who you want to become. Like you don't necessarily need to box yourself in and say, okay, because I'm from here, I have to do it like this.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like the quickest way to become a man is really through moving around. Like to my young G's, I feel like if you just box yourself into everything you know in your comfort zone, it's gonna be hard to really grow. But I feel like if you're able to like maneuver a bit and just kind of see other environments and other cultures, it'll be easier for you to understand your purpose.
Yeah. You see, like moving through, is there like advice you can give them people that are, as to what it's like culturally, but bouncing around like that? Like, is there differences that you notice about, say, like American people and African people, UK people, like culturally, like the way you live, the way the mindset is, the way the lifestyle is, like, is there big differences that you notice between the two?
Yeah.
That you could speak on, like, probably say that, just
all right.
stereotype them people.
Let me try to like break it down properly. All right, so let's say African people, all right, West African people. From that culture, what I was able to kind of grab is that it's always nice to be humble, it's always nice to be patient, and it's always nice to have faith. You know what I mean? So I grabbed that from my West African culture. From the American culture, I also grabbed that, you know, nothing is too serious. You know what I mean? Sometimes just do it. Like, you know, you don't have to be so frugal. Like, if you really want it, like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, live free. From the UK culture, it's more strategy based. Like, I see a whole lot of strategy. It's, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's to themselves. Like, you got to put a lot of thought into things. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to be a bit more organized. Even with, you know, when it comes to anything in the UK, I feel like y'all are really nice with the organization. You know what I'm saying? Y'all take your time with things. So I feel like, yeah, that's probably what I've been able to grasp around living different environments.
That's sick. I'm always fascinated by people that travel the world a lot and live in different, like, not just up and leave and stuff and have to make new friends and learn new ways of life, because I don't know if I could. Genuinely, I don't know if I could do it. I like going away for a little piece, couple of weeks here and there. You get me, like 10 days and that. But just living somewhere else, it's proper daunting. Being in London, you see people that every day that are just not from here. You get me? Like, every day they're just not from here. They weren't born here, but they live here now. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, you are brave, man. Like, that's a lot.
I think that's one of the things that kind of speaks to what you mentioned earlier about our parents, though. Like, for a lot of us, for our first generation, our parents left back home at early ages to come here, similar to basically you know what I'm saying? And the maturity, the mindset they needed to have to come here, survive and thrive is, I think, different to a lot of us today. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that, I guess, our generation doesn't have it, but it's different. And I think it kind of, that switch goes off at an earlier age for them because of the responsibility that they would have had to take on to even come to this country, not know anybody or know only a handful of people and still figure everything out. You know what I mean?
I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like a lot of people over here are comfortable in the situation that they're in. You know what I'm trying to say? So to have that mindset, like, no, I'm gonna go and get it. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get it.
Exactly.
I don't see that in a lot of people. I've seen it, but I don't see it like in a lot of people. Like, I know I'm generalizing, but and I think it's because of their comfortable in what they got. It's like, get up and go and get what? Like, I'm getting it. I'm getting it here. Like, we're good. I'm good over here. But that mindset is, it's definitely endearing. Like, it's sick.
That's that 8-figure mindset, and now you're 8-figure too. You know what I mean? That's that win-win. It's being able to create an opportunity. Like, if it's comfortability, to be honest, bro, like, I could be in Africa comfortable because I feel like down there, like, I'm lit. Like, I got my motion set up down there, and, you know, they know me. But it's not about me. It's really more about, like, the message I'm trying to push and where I'm trying to take, you know, the vision. That's why I'm still, you know, blessed to be in this room today and express it with you guys. So I feel like you got to stay hungry. Like, it's a never learning. Like you said earlier, like, it's always a rehearsal. Like, you always on camera, so you got to keep it going. It's a marathon.
Is there like an overarching message? Because you just mentioned like the message and everything. Is there an overarching message in your music at this point in your life? Or do you feel like, I guess, because, you know, I'll give you an example. Burna Boy's African Giant album, that had a heavy message, right? But compare that to when he first came out, it was more so vibes and that sort of stuff, right? But maybe at that time, he might have thought, you know what, long term, I do want to have a message, you know what I'm saying, about, I guess, the brilliance of Africa and stuff. How does that, is that in your music, number one? And number two, what is your message, I guess? What do you want people to get from listening to Skillz?
I want, personally, I'm in the two. Like, as much as I'm creating vibes, I still feel like Skillz is also different from Habib. You know what I mean? Skillz is a character, but you know, Habib is also me. So I strongly feel like I represent kind of like the underdog, because there was a point, like, you know, obviously I'm not born in the Western world. I'm born in Africa. My passport is like, you know, it's green. So it's like just being able to fight through that and being told that, oh, you can't do this, or because maybe you ain't born here, you're not entitled to pay the regular fee. You got to pay a higher fee because, you know what I'm saying, you from Africa or this, you know, having all of that and then still, you know, managing to break through it, or even like, let's say, dealing with the law and then, you know what I'm saying, fighting cases versus even fighting to get visas versus even fighting to get that removed off your name. Like I feel like we're always fighting for something. So I represent, and I still got my master's and I got my education.
All right,
You know, I got a double master's. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to go to school through the mist. And I'm gonna be real. Like I'm not the most well cut guy. Like I've been through a whole lot. You know what I mean? But I still was able to beat the odds. With my hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like I represent people that come from nothing, and really you can really just because you take one L, that don't mean that it's over. Like you can really reshape things. So that's the message I'm really trying to grow into and push and express better. And I pray that, you know, the Lord Allah continues to give me wisdom so I'm able to express it better and I could grow into the man that I've, you know, vision for myself. But yeah, that's my overall message that I'm trying to get to. But for right now, you know, I'm always have the vibes for the girldom. And you know what I'm saying? I'm always, you know, make that feel good music. But best believe that that's Skillz. But Habib, you know what I'm saying, is also an individual.
I love that, man. I love that. I don't know why. When you was talking it, I just thought of Harlem.
Yeah.
When I went to America, one of the places I went to in Harlem was Allah School Mecca.
Yeah.
125th Street.
Yeah, on 125th.
Yeah. Tell the people about 125th Street.
Man, yeah, 125th. That's like seeing the world. Cause America played us. I feel like America probably played America and Africa played the biggest part of my life. But like 125th, you see everything. You would see Mexicans who had crossed the border. You'd see Senegalese who probably came through the sea. You'd see like probably Americans. You'd see like, you know, hype beasts. Like you see all types of shapes of people in Harlem. So that alone, it lets you know that like, yo, there's hope. And you know what I'm saying? And some of them don't even got nothing, but they're happy and they're making use of what they got. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just seeing that lets me know that, yo, like you can really do whatever you want to do. Like, ain't no way, like just because they said you can't don't mean you can't.
100%. Because I remember, like, obviously I haven't been to like New York extensively like that. I think I've stayed in the Bronx probably like a day, Queens a couple of days. You know what I mean? Like a couple of places here and there. But something about Harlem though was pretty much like you said. Like you just see everything there.
Yeah, man.
You can go to 125th Street and just learn about Black history from, I don't even know, like the last 2,000 years. Go across the street and see people hustling from different cultures. Everything basically is on that street. You know what I'm saying?
It's very community based.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Where you learn that Black history from, like shops and books, or from people just preaching on the corner?
Both.
I was literally about to say both.
Both, literally.
Okay.
Like literally, like you'd have individuals preaching. You'd have like stores that represent it, like all types of stuff. Even like as far as Rastafarian culture, Buddhism, everything that you can think of is right there.
Yeah, people got their books out there, their stalls, selling you certain things. Obviously, you got the crystals and that out there. Everything's there, man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, it's giving a little bit, just a little bit like Brixton sometimes.
Okay.
You know, in that sense of like seeing everything in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Is it like the Silk Road?
Huh?
Like the Silk Roads?
Yeah, where trade happens, but the trade is knowledge and.
I see why you made that parallel. I think so. Yeah, because there is an exchange in the trade. There's an exchange of knowledge as well. There's an exchange of culture. There's an exchange of all those experiences. 100%. Yeah.
So I'm trying to picture this. Is it like a strip, a long strip?
It's like a big block. Like,
serious?
Yeah, it's long, very long.
Okay.
Because then it connects to where the Apollo Theater at. Like, there's a lot.
And it's hella colorful, different languages and all. It's like Babel.
Like what?
If it had
the Tower of Babel.
Obviously. All the cultures and whatnot, speaking their own languages and whatnot, but everybody's there to share and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go there to make a living, but you also, I guess, learn about life.
Yeah.
All in one. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's definitely a tourist destination when you go to.
Yeah. 125th, you got to.
Okay. 100%.
Therefore.
What would you say are some of the difficulties that you've gone through in terms of like pursuing your career?
I would say I wouldn't say I've gone through any difficulty. You know what I mean? Because I'm able to, you know, make it make sense. But I've had a couple of hurdles that I had to hop over. You know what I mean? Like number one, you know, being that you're also African, and you know what I'm saying, being that you possess like an African passport, sometimes you could have hurdles in that dynamic. And then, you know what I'm saying, obviously just dealing with like you know, how to like, you see, when you like kind of growing up a bit in the streets, like it's like when it's time to kind of like leave certain niggas, you know what I'm saying, or like depart from certain, you know what I'm saying, certain people, not everybody's always gonna understand like who you're trying to become, and then that could rub off the wrong way with certain people. So I feel like that was something that, you know what I'm saying, I had to grow up and really understand, like, okay, cool, like it's nothing personal, like with you, like, you know what I'm saying, it's all love, but this is more about like where I'm trying to get to and what I'm trying to do, and it might not make sense for you right now, but I still gotta do it for right now. So yeah, that was a big hurdle I had to face.
That kind of leads into like some of the questions that we ask every guest. Yeah. So like we've got 3 questions that we ask every single guest that comes on the show. What would you say? Tell us something that people are usually surprised to learn about you.
Yeah, probably that I got an education, that, you know, I got my master's degree. I feel like a lot of people are surprised, like, you know, that be dropping jaws, you know, when I say that. So
What's the master's
double
in?
masters.
yeah, I got business management.
Sick.
Yeah, and maths.
And maths.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Impossible.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't believe you, because how many zeros are in a million? That should be on your tongue. Maths is crazy. That's your people, Emmanuel. That's your people, man.
Well,
you love maths.
Yeah, I love
man.
maths.
You love maths?
Yeah, I love maths, man.
Yeah, it's
So
the
in
baseline
Ghana,
for
that's
life,
why I did
innit?
psychology. I did psychology and communications in Ghana. Yeah.
Sick. That's what I'm saying, man. It all making sense, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And what would you say then is your biggest life lesson?
Never get too comfortable. That's my biggest life lesson. You never get too comfortable, never get too complacent, and just always stay humble. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything can be sorted through a conversation. So I feel like a lot of people are so quick, like emotions, like a lot of people are so quick to just like close the door, like, you know what I'm saying? So I've learned over the years, like, if you have the opportunity to just save a relationship by just you not listening or feeding into your ego, for that moment, just don't feed into the ego, because you never know where, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna need that individual. You never know, like, everybody has a purpose. I strongly believe that God has a reason for placing everybody in your life. Nothing is accidental. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have good discernment and decorum. Like, I believe that, like, sometimes put your ego to the side. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Nothing's gonna happen. Sometimes let them win.
I like that. Also, we basically, every guest that comes, we get them to answer a question from the previous guest.
Okay.
And then to leave a question for the next guest.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even know who the next is going to be. Right?
Okay.
But the previous guest left this question. If you could go back to any time period, right?
Yeah.
What would it be and why?
I'll probably go back. Honestly, like, I would have probably answered that I wouldn't, but if I really could, I'll probably go back to high school and maybe, like, you know what I'm saying, when I was just leaving high school, just not do certain things, or just I wish I had this mentality back then. You know what I mean? Not saying that I'm mad at, you know, my journey or it's slowed down, but I just feel like certain things could have been avoided.
Yeah.
You know, if I would have made certain better decisions. You know. But yeah, other than that, like, we live abundantly, so
Yeah.
I'm happy and I'm grateful for everything.
I like that. And what question would you want to leave for the next guest?
What makes you you? Like, what makes what you're trying to do different from anybody else?
Okay. I like that. If that question was posed to you, what would you say?
Me?
Yeah.
I would just say, like, my story makes me me.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm from, you know, like the fact that I'm connected to my roots and I understand where I'm from and I understand my people and what I represent, that's what makes me me. And the fact that I'm able to even express it and, you know, fortunate be able to enter certain rooms is what's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Big up Skillz, 8Figures, man. I remember, I mentioned like a week or so ago when we were on the show. I said somebody messaged me whilst we were live, innit, bigging us up. This is basically who it was. You know what I'm saying? I said,
already.
You know what I mean? So big up him. He's been listening to the show, supporting what we're doing.
Come on, man.
So it's only right we do the same thing, people. Check out his music, man. Where can they find you?
Everywhere. Skillz 8Figure. Put it on Google, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. I'm right there in your face.
And honestly, guys, you know me, I don't like to exaggerate. Talented.
Yeah, it's very
talented. Check his music out, man.
Appreciate you.
I put a couple tunes in the Discord as well. Check out his stuff. And end of April, the project, right?
Ending of April. April 27th, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. for Sierra Leone Independence.
Sick.
And possibly ending of April, early May, y'all going to have a project for me. Got some really big names on there.
All right.
Been working hard on it, so, y'all going to enjoy it.
Come on.
Well, if you got the time, man, hopefully after the project drops, come back.
Yeah, 100%.
Imperative.
100%.
All right, then. All right, people. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Let's get into some more headlines. Reaction. All right, people. So, our next set of headlines. A primary school in London's most affluent borough has been left with the difficult decision to consult on its closure after 150 years amid dwindling birth rates in the capital. St Cuthbert and with St Matthias Church of England Primary School in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea sent out a letter to parents and carers on Tuesday to announce the news with a very heavy heart. The school highlighted falling birth rates and a lack of affordable housing for families in London as the reasons for the decision, as well as migration out of the capital after the pandemic. In the letter, it also mentioned that various options had been considered, such as a merger with another school, but with over half of its places currently vacant, which impacts the funding of the school's governors are now consulting a proposal for its closure. Can you imagine?
Whoa.
Can you imagine? It really shows like the impact of all these things. The impact
of Brexit is crazy.
It's crazy.
Cuthbert, I ain't heard that name.
And people are just not having as much kids as before, man. You know what I mean?
They can't afford them, innit?
Exactly. The council and the diocese will support the consultation process, and once it ends in May, governors will make a recommendation about whether the proposal should move to the formal consultation stage. If the proposal goes ahead, following a final decision in July, St Cuthbert with St Matthias Church of England Primary School will close on December 31st. Next headline takes us to Libya, where Libyan warlord who allegedly controlled migrant smuggling routes into Europe and a network of torture prisons had direct links to Britain. So Osama al-Mashri Najim, who is wanted by the International Criminal Court, the ICC, was detained in Italy this year, but controversially freed as part of a suspected deal with Libya. The Telegraph now is revealing that documents found in his possession included valid Barclays and HSBC bank cards in his name, as well as business cards for a pharmacy and an immigration lawyer at a Chinese-British law firm in London. Italian police briefly detained Najim over crimes against humanity and war crimes on January 19th, but he was released 2 days later. His release triggered a legal investigation into Giorgia Meloni, who is Italy's prime minister. Documents also obtained by the Telegraph showed that he was also found with key cards for hotels in Italy and Germany, suggesting that he travelled around the UK and other parts of Europe. Critics have accused Miss Meloni of releasing the 45-year-old as part of a quid pro quo deal struck by Italy and Libya to stop migrants from leaving North Africa in boats and crossing the Mediterranean towards the EU nation. The ICC issued a warrant for Najim on January 18th for suspected crimes against humanity and war crimes, including murder, torture, rape and sexual violence, allegedly committed in Libya from February 2015 onwards. And our last headline takes us to Mozambique, where the parliament has unanimously approved a new law aimed at fostering national dialogue and political reconciliation, marking a significant step towards restoring stability in the country. The legislation, which includes constitutional revisions and changes to presidential powers, is part of a broader peace agreement signed on March the 5th between President Daniel Chapo and all political parties. The proposed law received overwhelming support from all 4 parliamentary benches, with the ruling Mozambique Liberation Front, Frelimo, emphasising its role in strengthening democracy. The leader of Frelimo's parliamentary group said, with this approval, our legislature has a historic opportunity to contribute to Mozambique's renewal and put the interests of the people first. Feliz Silvia, who's another representative of Frelimo, highlighted the law's importance in fostering trust between political actors, increasing predictability in governance, and also reducing instability. While the law's approval marks a milestone, opposition parties expressed concerns about the timing and the intent behind the initiative. The MDM, which is the Democratic Movement of Mozambique, welcomed the law, but they criticized the government for acting too late. The leader of MDM basically came out and said, yes, we warned about the dangers of fraudulent elections. Unfortunately, it took months of protests and bloodshed before those in power realized that democracy cannot be sustained by force. And that is it for our headlines. Time to get
into the reaction?
Yeah.
Welcome to the reaction, people, where I read out your sports headlines. I don't even know what headlines.
Liverpool won.
Scores.
I ain't even got none. Just the scores of the game. I didn't obviously.
Won. I didn't watch them.
Did I get to watch any of these? No, I was out. I missed all the games. Obviously, Aston Villa beat Brighton 3-0. So that European spot is really heating up, innit? It's close, bro. From like 4th to what, 9th or 10th or something like that? Is it maybe like 4 or 5 points maybe?
100%.
It's going off. So this is going to be a good run-in. I suppose the top end sorted and the bottom sorted. I think this just gives us something to look forward to.
Yes.
You could just pretend to be invested
Yes.
in the last games of the season. So yeah, Villa done their thing, kept their European hopes alive, beat Brighton 3-0. Newcastle as well, still going strong, beat Brentford 2-1. Liverpool 1-0 at Everton, obviously champions elect. Down at the bottom of the table, Southampton and Palace drew. Man City kept it going as well, beat Leicester 2-0. Oh, Ipswich messed up and dropped some points. Let me quickly go and look at the table and see where we're at here.
I've got the table up. I was just about to ask you a question about that as well.
Saka's back as well. Saka's back and scoring. Big them up. Go on, what you going to ask me?
Top 4. Who's going to be in the final top 4? Because it's quite close between Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Brighton, like you said as well.
Yeah.
Is Nottingham Forest solidified their spot?
No, I think so. I think Nottingham Forest are like 3 wins away from guaranteed European football.
Okay.
But the top 4...
That would be such a result for them.
I want them to get Champions League, to be totally honest with you, because they've gone. There's 8 games left, and I was speaking to my brother about this the other day, and he's saying like he don't know how they keep going. Like maybe they're gonna drop out, but I'm like, I think you can go and look at their fixtures and just know that like they can definitely do this. They're a decent team, depending on how many home games they got as well. That'll play a part in it because they're hard to score against. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like they just don't really concede that much. The style of football that Nuno's playing, it works for them. Like, and it's effective. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's solid. Everybody knows their roles, and there's equally a good amount of quality in there for when they break, when they go on the counter with Alanga and what's his name again? Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White, Anderson's good, and obviously Chris Wood's been playing a blinder this season. So it's like that mix is like you can't underestimate them. Ole Einar's doing good. The centre backs are cooking. Milenkovic and Murillo and like absolutely cooking like all across the team. You get what I'm trying to say? So like you put them up against people and you think, oh yeah, okay, they should lose this, they should lose that. And it's like nah. Like on their day, if they're gonna be stubborn, you get me, and be proper stalwarts and defend like that and then catch people on counters, they could beat anyone. Look what they done to United. Obviously, United ain't been that good this season anyway. But Alanga, that pace was frightening. Caught them on a counter from a United corner. Went up to the other ends in about flipping 5 seconds. Great finish. Put them off 1-0, and then they were just hard to break down after that. Maybe United need better attackers. They would create opportunities, but they were just hard to break down. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and they can do that. They can go in front and not lose. Maybe it's not guaranteed to win, but they could draw or whatever. Like they're gonna pick up points. I would love to see them finish in the top 4, but I need to have their fixture list right in front of me before I think. I want them to. I'll put them in there. I think it's gonna be Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest. You know what I'm gonna pick? I'm just gonna pick what I want. I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but this is what I want. I want it to be Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Newcastle. But the top 5 are going into Europe actually this year anyway, innit? Yeah, it's the top 5 that's making it to Champions League unless something changes. I can't remember how the results work. So I must think United are getting back in the top 4. If so, when? I don't know, man. Probably next season, man. Be real. You know my ambition knows no bounds, man. Like, probably next season.
Yeah, all right.
Hopefully we get a good window. You get me? I like the gaffer. I just think the players ain't good enough. I don't know what kind of money we got there and what kind of major moves we can make. But I think, yeah, man. I think we're going to be good, man. I think we're going to be all right. But yeah, so I think the 5 places are for Champions League football. City's terrible form. Are they out of it now, Brent? Are they back on track now?
They're back on track. They ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but that run that they went on was killing them. That's put them in the position that they're in now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, obviously, like Newcastle and Chelsea got a game in hands on them. If they win those games, they're 6th. You get what I'm saying? So it's going to be a fight. Chelsea been up and down all year. Look decent. They look like shit. Obviously, they lost Nicholas Jackson. That's a big loss to them. If they can get him back, I don't even know what his trajectory to come back looks like. But if they can get him back and they can start putting together some results, they'll be involved. But I don't think so. Villa are decent. You get me? They're looking good over there with Rashford and that. I think it's too much. Villa and Brighton, I think it's too much. I think it's out of. I think you know what? I think it's gonna stay the way it is here. You know, for Champions League, this top 4: Newcastle, City, Forest, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think it will stay like that. I don't think Chelsea get in, and I think Villa's a tough ask. Brighton have been very good this year as well. They've got the youngest gaffer in the league. He's been doing his thing. But yeah, man, it's interesting to watch, man. There's a game on tonight. What's that? A derby as well. Chelsea Spurs. So that'll be decent. I'm gonna have to miss that as well. Oh, I'm done. But yeah. Premier League football, man. It's looking good, man. We're back. That 2 weeks break was too long, man.
Too long.
Like too long. And then to come back from the 2 week international and then have an FA Cup weekend. It's like, you're kidding us. It's egregious, man. Never do that again, man.
Never again.
But yeah, we're good. We're good. Football's back. All is right in the world. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah.
There's going to be some boxing on the weekend, you know.
Is there?
Remember the heavyweight card on the Zone? It's kind of messed up now because obviously... I was
supposed to go to a GMB fight on Friday.
Who's fighting on Friday?
Let me show you the card. Sorry, guys.
The Santos and Peters.
That is it, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that in York Hall?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You want to go? Oh, I can't even make it, but I can get you ringside.
You know what? We're going to talk. We'll talk. But yeah, obviously that particular card as well. Huey Fury is going to be on that card as well.
Yeah.
But the main thing on the weekend is going to be that card that was meant to have Okoli and Rakpo on it. Meant to have Dillian White on it with Joe Joyce. But obviously, it's still going ahead, but there has been some changes. So Joyce is going to be fighting Hergovich.
Okay.
Adelea is still on the fight, still on the card. He's going to be fighting TKV. But those two are basically friends, though. But when it comes to this, obviously the actual fight, it looks like Adelea really wants to, you know what I mean, make a statement. So he's been talking quite a lot of smack, man. So it'll be good to see that fight.
I'm pissed that card got decimated like that, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I was really looking forward to that, man. It is what it is.
All right, cool, man. That's the end of our sports news, man. Let's wrap this bad boy up.
All right, people. It's been a great show. Thank you once again for tuning in. Today, we spoke about the UK's biggest police force looking to axe 1,700 officers and staff, despite them getting a boost to the funding. We also spoke about Elon Musk getting ready to leave the White House. We spoke about evidence of, trigger warning on this as well, people, evidence of an execution-style killing of Palestinian aid workers by Israeli forces. The IDF are out there still doing the devil's work, man. We spoke about the grieving mothers who are calling for tighter restrictions on new drivers. You know what I'm saying? We gave some of the details in the headlines, so check back on that. We spoke about the convicted Syrian terrorist who was allowed to stay in the UK after police basically backed his asylum claim. And we spoke about the pupils in England who are basically now going to be taught about online spending and scams, right? We also spoke about the primary school in London, in Kensington and Chelsea, that's going to be closing. Why? Because there's dwindling birth rates, man, and financial struggles. Half the school is basically gone. And we spoke about the Libyan warlord who was at the heart of a migrant scandal and how he's got links to Britain. Obvious links to Italy, but especially links to Britain. He's got a bank account, he's got all sorts. And we spoke about Mozambique's parliament approving a landmark law that will hopefully restore peace in that beautiful African nation. And of course, for topic of the day, we spoke about what makes a man, what makes us mature, what makes us, I guess, have that modern day rites of passage. And I guess the highlight of the show as well, we had an amazing interview from my brother, Skillz 8Figures. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Man, thanks for having me.
We're looking forward to the project. And we're looking forward to you coming back again, man.
No, most definitely, man. I'll definitely pull up. Anytime I'm here, I'm always come show love.
Nice, man. Appreciate it. So people, like the video, subscribe. We're on the road to 10K subscribers. So yeah, man, like the video, share, man. And we'll be back here again, 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Gang.
Peace.
Peace.